Welcome to the 342nd episode of the So Video Games podcast, where we talk about any game at all, including new stuff, old stuff, and anything in between. If we are playing it, we'll be talking about it. Today we are recording on June 25th, 2023. My name is Brad Galloway. I'm the editor of GameCritics.com, and I'm also 50% of this here show. With me is the man who's tapping the mic, Carlos Rodella.
Does that work?
There it is. There it is.
Wait, hold on.
Is this working?
That's better, actually.
Is this on?
There's more ASMR. See, ASMR.
And, oh, we're getting a whole new crowd in here. Nice.
Ooh, all right. Well, I'll get a device that I put on it to, lick it or something. That's what they do. That's part of it.
Oh, no, dude. I know. It's funny you say that because I was watching Instagram yesterday, and I have a Chihuahua, and so I look at Chihuahua videos sometimes just because I'm that kind of guy. And this lady had his Chihuahua, and she was making it a birthday cake, and she made a dog-appropriate cake. And at the end of it, the dog was eating it, right? And so she put a microphone up, right next to its mouth to catch the eating and licking sounds. And she's like, oh, here's ASMR for you guys.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, my God, that's hilarious because I don't know if you know this, but there is actually a condition in the human body where if you hear certain sounds, it drives you into a rage.
Oh, geez.
I do not have that, but my wife and my son both have that thing. So whenever they hear the dogs licking, they completely are they go after the dogs and they got to get them to stop licking immediately. And it's funny because if they heard that video, their heads would explode. So I thought it's funny that somebody out there likes that sound, you know?
Well, the exact opposite happens to some people. They have other conditions, which they're turned on, because that's a thing.
Oh, geez, I didn't even think of that.
Oh, you didn't think of that? Oh, my goodness.
No, I was like a Chihuahua, and I'm not. Those two things don't cross over in my head.
I get that when you're talking about dogs, yes.
Yeah.
And then there's also just people just enjoy that kind of sensation in their ear holes, which is weird.
I guess. No judgment. No
judgment at all. I mean, whatever you're into, I accept. But this podcast isn't an ASMR podcast. It's a games podcast.
It's a games podcast. All right, folks, we got lots of stuff on the show that has nothing to do with Chihuahua licking.
That's the podcast title, though, for
Chihuahua sure. All right, let's get away from oral fixation stuff here. Let's talk about some games, folks. You know, I know, Carlos knows, we all share a virtual living space, and I guess you kind of share it with us too sometimes. Divided down the middle with a strip of duct tape. He's got a side, I've got a side, things are a mess all over. We're tidying up right here, right now. It's housekeeping. Carlos, what is on your side of the room this week?
Well, like I mentioned pre-show, believe it or not, Steam Next Fest is happening.
It never stopped. I feel like I'm still getting the emails from, what was the last one?
I don't remember, but like we said earlier before the show, it just never ends. It's like a continual Next Fest.
Dude, I feel like it's just this ongoing death march of please look at our game, please look at our game. And I got nothing left, man. I can't do it no more. My eyes need a break.
Well, we both take that differently because I think of it as a nonstop barrage of new games to check out, which I'm always I can't check them all out because there's just too many of them.
Not enough time for those.
Yeah. That said, there's a ton that I am checking out. By the way, Eternites. We've talked about on the show before, I think.
Maybe.
It's a dating, but also with an action RPG element game.
What? Hold on. Maybe we haven't talked about that because I feel like I play all the dating sims and that does not sound familiar.
Right. So it's a Eternites, E-T-E-R Nights. I did mention on the show once before a long time ago and said I was excited because remember I played one of the only dating sims that has action RPG.
Now I remember why I crossed it off my list because it looks too anime for me. That's why.
Okay.
I'm with you.
But yeah, I played one and it was not good back in the day because the action RPG was so nominal and so little.
Yeah.
But this one looks pretty involved and cool, and so I probably will check it out. That demo is up right now for Next Fest if you're interested and like anime. Also, Sea of Stars finally has their demo out, which has been an old school RPG that a lot of people have been talking about.
Yeah, heard of that one. Heard of it.
The Invincible, I thought you should check out. I don't know why. I put an asterisk next to it for Brad.
The Invincible. Let me look it up.
Type in The Invincible Next Fest. It's just a narrative game. It had a really cool look. I just felt like it was a Brad game.
I have not heard of this one. Yeah, it does kind of look like a game for me. It kind of does. I think your radar was on the mark there.
Huh. And then also Identity Rebels. is a game that, for me, I feel like we should have had this before, and if we do, tell me. But it's an open world RPG shooter. So third person, like think Elex, and it looks like kind of like indie that way, but you're shooting. Like, we don't get that much, do we?
I'm looking at these screenshots, and it feels like we should. I want to say there's a million of these, but I'm looking at it. I don't think there is a million of these. I don't think so.
I know, right? So it's like, okay, I want in then.
Right.
Identity Rebels. And the one I'll be talking about today, I'll save for my first game, but I did also play a demo from the next so we'll talk about right now on the show.
All right, well, let's save that for just a minute while we move on to the other boxes here as we continue housekeeping. Yes. What else you got, dude?
Let's see. Not new games because there's a ton of them. Oh, just really quick, Diablo check-in, like you check in on your eggs.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously I beat the game. We talked about that in the show.
Yeah.
I played it for a long time until Final Fantasy 16 came out. Put it on pause because I'm working on that right now, which we'll talk about this episode. And I just been watching a lot of footage and YouTube videos about Diablo. And obviously Seasons is the first thing that's going to come out. If you played any of the Seasons in like the other games, you know that it's kind of a grind. And I'm not a big fan of resetting and making a new character every time.
Yeah.
So a bunch of YouTube videos are going on around that because there is a ton of new people, like another comparison to Elden Ring, that are in Diablo 4 that either never played any Diablo games or B, did, but because it's such more of an open world game and a really fun world to just explore and level up in, they don't want to reset their character,
Yes.
And obviously I don't either. That just seems like a pain. Now, what's interesting is that if you want to make an alternate character, and now I'm going to play a necromancer, which I never do, that's kind of fun. But if that's the case, then I'd only want to level up that alternate, and I wouldn't want to keep making new ones. So as long as the seasons are, okay, you have to make a new character for seasons, but then every season you can keep that character, then I would be in. But it sounds like they're going to do the old school method.
Or they just wipe it after you're done.
Just wipe each season because, the world's changed and the systems have changed enough that it's a new experience. And I just call bullshit on that. Like, it's Diablo. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and they want it to be a game as a service, right? And this is like one step beyond just doing DLC or new dungeons or new instances and events and stuff. I mean, this is like, if they get you into that season shit, well then, they know you're going to be back season after season after season after season. Kind of similar to what Fortnite does with the Battle Pass, or any of these games as a service do as a Battle Pass, where it's like the game is basically the same, but you get like these new tier rewards, and if you want to go after it, you got to start basically from scratch. You go back to level 1 every time you do the Battle Pass. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Just they're getting you on that game as a service grind for sure.
Well, I'm glad you brought that part of it up because my biggest pet peeve with some of the YouTubers like Asmongold and a bunch of them is that a lot of them talk about, they just kind of like pish posh when people say what I'm about to say, which is you can have a battle pass and you can have all these things like cosmetics, etc., but you don't have to reset the season because if I'm invested in what you just said, this battle pass and this kind of extra layer of stuff, and can keep my character, I'm gonna play a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of them make I don't want to say excuse, but the argument for, the reason why you have to reset is because, they want to keep you in this games as a service. But I think the opposite. I think if you have a character that you keep grinding on and now they're level not just 100, which is the max, now they're 125 or something, and they just get better and more strong, and then you have a battle pass and cosmetics, I think that's the way to go. It just seems weird to me that to be like, to have that games as a service, you have to reset an RPG character. I just don't agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've got a point there. I don't think you have to reset. I definitely agree with you that there are other ways to do this. So I guess one thing that I don't know is I don't know about Diablo, but I know that other games as a service who have done this thing where you wipe, there's like rewards at the end of the season. So I don't know if they've set up anything competitive where like everybody starts at 0 and then whoever gets, the highest level or whoever finds the most rare loot will get like a bonus reward. I mean, that would be one reason to do the wipe because then you're working towards the finish line. But if not, I mean, I think it's just about like just like you said, like if 100 is the cap, then you make it 125, and you know you just keep going up and up and up. I guess you have to scale that properly and do whatever. But I guess it doesn't matter since they already do scaling anyway. It's just a number. So to me, I'm with you. Like if I make a character, if I spend 50, 60 hours on a character, I don't want to reset. I've never played a game where I had to reset to 0 and start over. I know I don't do that. So
and to your point, like I think one of the reasons would be there is PvP in the game, right? And there is this kind of competitiveness. So if the reset is for that, that's cool. But a ton of people don't want to do that ever. They don't even want to
keep it a separate mode. Just keep it a totally separate.
Keep it a separate mode. And by the way, on full honesty, obviously there's still the eternal realm, which means your eternal character is your person who went to level 100 or whatever, and they never ever have to reset, and you can play them forever. They just can't enjoy the seasons. Yeah. So it's like, I just think that they're doing it wrong. Anywho, that's my only 2 cents about that, because I'm putting it down for now because I really do love the world still. I actually like a lot of the side missions. I'm level 56 now or something, which is, I've never been that like leveled in a Diablo game. Mm-hmm. So it's similar to Elden Ring again, because it gets me wanting to, stay in this world because they built such a good one.
Yeah.
But it definitely is on pause because, I beat the game. I don't have to grind in it right now. And I'm a little sad because I know that this first content that comes out next month, it's going to be a reset content. It's that kind of alternate
That's a bummer, dude. I mean, I don't know. It seems to me, just based on my short play time, and you probably could answer this better than I could, but it just seems like in addition to all of that reset, game as a service, whatever, they could just do, they warp you to some random place and just have a brand new island. I mean, I don't see any reason why
exactly.
Yeah. I mean, there's no limit. It's not like we've used up all the land in Diablo and we can't build anymore. Like whatever, you just warp to some new place. There's already warps in the game. It's already canon. You warp to some other end of the earth and there's a whole new continent to explore. Keep your same character. Just do that. That's
there
easy.
There you go.
Simple.
It's like an MMO in that way. And also, remember, like, I don't know, was it Reaper of Souls? But like in Diablo 3, there's expansions, So just make an expansion for this game that, by the way, has a gazillion players that will literally delete your game, because this is the style of player that I am. And I know a ton of people, millions of people bought the game that are like me. And we will just delete it and not play again if there isn't, like what we just said, a true expansion.
Yeah.
Because if it's just the reset thing, then I'm going on to play Final Fantasy and some other game.
Yeah.
My last 2 cents, though, before I leave Diablo, is that the other thing I have to say out loud somewhere on a podcast is that, Asmongold and a bunch of these YouTubers, I just get so frustrated when they talk about, like, after level 80, it's boring. And I go, bro, how many people are getting to level 80?
Yeah.
Okay? That 1% or 5% or something, it's not bitchable. You can't bitch about it. That's
a pretty good podcast title right there. It's not bitchable.
Not bitchable. That's true.
That's pretty good.
Because, like, you can't, oh, man, level 80 to 100 is such a grind and so boring. Yeah, well, who's there? Who's there with you? Who's bitching about it? Not me. I had a great fucking time for 50 hours or something and beat the game, and now I want an expansion. That's it. I'm done. I'm not, like, bitching about, like, oh, the numbers got too low at the top. I just think that's so silly. Anyways.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like that edge case of a user, right, where there's always like one person who's like min-maxed everything and they've spent like 8,000 hours and they've got, that person who's basically poured their life into it, and their concerns are generally quite different than the concerns of somebody who plays it on the weekend or who plays it after work. It's like two whole different worlds, right? It's like the difference between somebody who's like working a 9 to 5 and fucking Jeff Bezos out on his yacht who's like wondering which country he should buy next. I mean, the concerns are very different. So.
And I understand that and accept it because, by the way, I've been that person for some games. Like Ultima Online.
I've been on both sides of it. Both sides of it, for sure.
But my point is, a lot of these YouTubers will like kind of have that as the definitive review for a game.
Oh, sure.
And that's wrong. Like, that's incorrect because also they're influencing a ton of people who are watching their content. And then they go like, well, it's just not good after this period of time.
Right. No, like, I'm with you. I totally agree with you. Yeah, I think they need to reset their barometer and be like, you're not, I mean, I guess if you're a niche YouTube channel and you want to talk only to your niche people, go ahead. But like, they've got to realize not everybody's going to spend, 12 hours a day playing this game because they're streaming it all the time or whatever. That's a very, very edge case. Like, it's the same thing for me where I play, I play like 400 games a year, and I realize like nobody plays 400 games a year. So my concerns
Yeah.
are different from the concerns of the guy who buys 2 games per year, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And you got to keep that in perspective. So,
All right, well, that's my last 2 cents for now. Also, I just realized I'm going at like 2.5 speed.
what?
I'm like talking at 2.5 speed right now, I think. Aren't I?
Oh, I mean, you sound normal to me.
Wait, am I always this fast?
You seem like regular Carlos.
Wow, I feel like I'm going fast. Anyways,
Maybe I'm talking extra slow.
Maybe you are. Nintendo Direct happened.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of it?
I watched the whole thing, actually. I got the family on the couch, and we had a spare moment. We watched the whole
right.
the whole boring-ass 47 minutes or
Nice.
whatever it was.
Well,
Yeah.
you're a Switch family. You're like,
Yeah.
you bring so many Switch games to this episode, I'm sure.
Absolutely correct.
So, yeah, that seems like up your alley. I have a few highlights, but you want to tell me what you're excited about from it?
I mean, not much, dude. Number one...
You did say it was Borefest for 40 minutes.
I mean, number one, if you're going to, like, I don't mean to, like, judge people, except we all judge people all the time, every day. But if you're going to get on to do, like a thing, like this international, huge, going to get millions of people watching it, comb your fucking hair, dude. Like that guy that was on the left, he looked like a slob.
Oh, I wasn't watching anybody. I just fast forward to the videos.
Oh, my God. I'm sure he's like some millionaire executive in the upper echelons of Nintendo. It looked like he just, like, walked into the studio at random. I'm like, please get a makeup artist. I mean, whatever. I'm not like judging his personal, like, I'm not saying you're ugly or anything. I'm just like, dude, like, if I was going to get on a camera in front of millions of people, I would at least, like, wash my face and comb my hair a little bit. Whatever. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's not a good thing to say.
I'll have to go back and look. I did not
Maybe
even
I'm
know
incorrect for saying that. I don't mean to be all judgy and shit, but I couldn't get over how bad the guy's hair was. And I'm like, that's driving me a little bit bonkers. Anyway, other than that, it's the whole family was kind of the same thing. We're like, Jesus, this stuff again. It's like Pokemon and farming. Like all it was Pokemon and farming, and we were desperate to see something that really appealed to us. I think the Pikmin looked like a bright spot because my wife's a big Pikmin fan. I want to say there was like maybe one more game that looked good, but the rest of it we're like, oh Jesus, more of this stuff. Like we are over the same like 2 kinds of content that Nintendo brings.
Yeah, I'm checking out the guy's hair. It looks fine.
The guy on the left?
Yeah, he's fine.
Oh my God, no, dude. Anyway.
Well, we like to agree to disagree on this, and now we're agreeing to disagree on someone's hair.
Oh my gosh. And again, this is not a personal attack. I don't know this guy. I'm just being a bitch, and
It's fine.
It just really bugged me that his hair looks so sloppy, and it drove me crazy. Anyway, sorry.
Well, I
apologize.
thought on Nintendo Direct you would really be into the idea of a game where you step into a Saturday morning cartoon.
Oh, that one is not just a Switch exclusive. I looked at that. The graphics, I know what you're talking. What's
Myth Force.
Myth Force.
First person roguelike Saturday morning cartoon. I was like, well, besides the first person, that sounds like a Brad game.
It would be, and I like the graphics, but again, first person, so I'm already halfway out. And like multiplayer focused and just like roguelike, I'm like, nah, none of that's going to work for me, dude. It's just not going to happen.
Okay, Saturday morning cartoon. I just got that part.
It does look great though. The graphics are cool.
The 2 standouts for me are just obviously New Super Mario RPG. I mean, that was a great game back in the day to have another version of it.
Yep.
And the new 2D Mario game is like fantastic.
Wonder. Super Mario Wonder.
Yeah.
That was the other bright spot. I forgot what it was. It was Pikmin and Wonder were the 2 things we were excited about. Yeah.
I mean, like I kind of always have wanted just another regular ass 2D Mario game with like new animations. You see how like when he goes into the pipe, he has these different animations and stuff.
Oh yeah, they've really tweaked the graphics. I mean, it's subtle, but it's definitely noticeable for sure. Yeah,
it's beautiful. Cool. Yeah, so that was my takeaway. But again, nothing really huge for me.
Yeah, no, it was nothing. It was pretty boring, honestly. My wife was kind of getting annoyed, and my kid was like kind of checked out because, again, like it was like the last 2 directs or something where too much farming, way too much farming, and too much like Pokemon likes. And those are not big genres at our house. And so we were like, whatever, like the Switch can do so many other things. I'm so tired of seeing these things focused over and over and over. So,
yeah. That's all I have, I think.
Okay, cool. Let's see. Just a quick shout out to, speaking of the Switch, Mario plus Rabbids. They did announce a new DLC, I believe, during that direct. Yep. I think Mario plus Rabbids, the tactical game is great to begin with. And the second one, Sparks of Hope, was also great. It was a great experience. I didn't finish it because it's really long and I had to put it aside for other review responsibilities. But it's still on my Switch. I plan on coming back to it. And they just let out their second DLC, add some new characters, add some new modes. It's a good reason to come back if you want to come back to it. I love that game, and I'm glad to be reminded of it because, we just get so busy, and you're on the content wheel. You got to play a game for the show. You got to play a game for review, the website, whatever. It's a lot, and sometimes you don't have time to spend on the games that you really enjoy or that are really long. But I will come back to this one. I'm glad to be reminded. And heads up to anybody out there who enjoyed Mario plus Rabbids. There's some new content available.
Oh yeah, as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, Brad's going to download that.
Yeah, for sure. I dig that. I also was very fortunate enough to be a part of the Mortal Kombat 1 stress test going on right now. Going on PlayStation 5, as a matter of fact.
Interesting.
Yeah, I can't say how I got into it. That was part of the conditions of getting into it. Kind of like Fight Club almost. Literal Fight Club. But I jumped in, and I think the graphics look great. Really interested to see the new character designs. It feels... I don't want to say like a throwback, because it's not a throwback, but it feels like they've sped things up, and it feels a little more combo heavy than the last couple of Mortal Kombats. And it's always been kind of a dial-a combo sort of a game, and whether that's good or bad, I can like it sometimes, and sometimes I really don't like it. I think something like oh gosh, what was that one that came out from Rare that had like those weird characters? It had like the Fulgor, the cyborg, and the werewolves and stuff. Do you remember that one?
Oh, Primal
Killer Instinct.
Killer Instinct, yeah.
Like that took it way too far, right? That was way too far dial-a combo. But then again, it's not something like that's totally freeform either. So I think this particular one a little bit more combo based, which is always a struggle for me because it involves a lot of memorization rather than kind of freeform fighting, right? But that was just quick impressions. I could be wrong, or maybe it was just the characters that I played. It could be different with other characters, but simplified fatalities, which is great because I feel like putting in 19 moves for that is dumb.
Yeah, that was always annoying. Yeah,
that was annoying. Look, I mean, graphics is great. There's a new system, which I got to be honest, I didn't fully understand. There was no tutorial involved. So with all of the new systems, you kind of had to figure it out, where you hit one of the shoulder buttons and like your teammate comes in. Like I would pick like Sub-Zero, and then Jax would be my teammate, but he's off screen. You fight as Sub-Zero just as normal, and then you hit the button to call Jax in. And sometimes he would come in and like do a move, like he'd do like a ground pound and knock the enemy off their feet, or he would grab them or something. And sometimes he would like run in and just like run out like it was like a feint. And so I wasn't quite sure like why he was attacking sometimes and not. And I'm like, am I pushing the button the wrong way? Am I like, what's going on? So I want to explore that system a little bit more. It seems pretty interesting. But I mean, overall, pretty positive. I mean, Mortal Kombat has been on a hot streak lately. The last few games have been all great. So this seems to be like, I mean, I don't mean this to sound negative, but like it sounds just like another great Mortal Kombat. So I mean, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, if you didn't mess it up, that's stay on the winning streak.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say this though: I will never play it because the gore stuff just. You don't have to do the gore because the fatality you don't have to do.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
But I'm just not a fan of that stuff, and it just seems like they keep going further and further, and it's like at some point it's just like gore fest, and I'm like, I don't care about that. But I guess you could play it and do all the other unlocks and just kind of having a fun time with the game and not have to do fatalities.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm just generally, we talked about how I kind of am off fighting games.
Right.
That said, quick tangent, my day job at the Crown Channel, which by the way, check it out. This is just a plug. We're not sponsored, blah, blah, blah. I work there. It's cool as fuck. We're doing some really cool things. I haven't talked about it much on the show, but basically if you have any streamer you like a streamer that you watch or a YouTuber or something, we probably have them on our shows, and we just basically play games and do weird shit and have fun. So recently we played Street Fighter 6, which we talked about on this show.
Yeah, we talked about recently, yeah.
And because, lots of times I don't get to spend a lot of time with the games that you played. I just hear about them. I get to watch, for a long stream, people making characters, and you can make some messed up characters.
That is a weird character builder, dude. It's really strange. I've seen some real monstrosities, man, for sure.
Literally, that's what they did on our show. It's like just made the most monster people. Oh my goodness, it's ridiculous. Maybe I'll give you a clip of just like them making really bad stuff.
Yeah.
But it seemed funny because you can actually fight with those. Like
Oh yeah, you can make their like real long arms, and
long
these
arms, short
giant
arms,
barrel
yeah.
chests, and big heads and small heads and stuff.
It's
It
crazy.
is cool and it's fun, and I have seen like like these weird like genetic mutations and stuff. But I gotta be honest, dude, we haven't really circled back to it yet. But as I was dipping back in, I haven't played a lot of it, but as I dip back into Street Fighter 6, I created a character to go into the world tour mode because I know you wanted to hear more about it.
Yeah,
and
yeah, there you go.
I did make it. It's so hard to make a female character that doesn't look like a total freak in that game. Like I was really stunned at like how difficult it was. Where the fat distribution between male and female bodies is totally different. The way that the bone structure is not totally different, but different in some ways. And so it feels like they've just kind of got a one size fits all general character creator, which I don't think really works because I feel like a lot of times it's slanted toward the male character. So like when you're making a particular type of guy character, it comes out looking pretty okay. You make the same kind of girl character and it looks messed up. Like you're just like, that's not right. That is not how a human body should look. So I had a lot of difficulty with it, to be honest with you. It took me a long time, like more than an hour and a half, to get a female character where I felt like they didn't look like some kind of weird, like strange Elon Musk Tesla lab escapee kind of a thing. So I don't know. It's like if you pick the stock like small, tiny, slender body, like those kind of look normal because I think that's where Capcom starts from. I'm making wide assumptions here, just FYI.
Yeah.
I don't have any behind the scenes info, but it seems like when you pick the tiny little like Chun-Li style girl or something, that seems okay. But when you want to get like a tall woman or a muscular broad woman or even a woman who's like, on the plus size or something, they look something not right about that. So that was a struggle for me, but
you know what it reminds me of is like the He-Man figures. You know how like there was a figure and it was like the base figure.
Yes, the core. Yes,
and then it would just be different colors and stuff.
Yeah, it's called a buck. Actually, that is what it's called. The core base figure is a buck, and so like you stick different heads and different arms and different legs, and you get different figures, but you're still working from the same base figure. Yeah.
Street Buck Fighter 6.
Yes, exactly. Kind of what it feels like.
All right. Anyways, what else do you have? Or are we going to the shows? Or
no, just last update here. Probably the last update for Sekiro. I know we've been talking about it for a couple weeks. I started on my revenge quest. For those that don't remember, I played Sekiro when it dropped like 3 or 4 years ago, whatever that was. Got all the way to the last boss, and I couldn't beat him because he was just a motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
And I got really frustrated with the load times because every time you fight the last boss, if you die, when you restart, you have to not only respawn at the save point, you have to run back to the room where the boss is, you have to watch a cutscene, then you have to click past that, and there's loading time in that whole thing. So it was like multiple stops and loads before you want to keep fighting the boss. And I'm sure you get, you're fighting a big boss, you get ramped up and the adrenaline's going, you want to just keep doing it, right? You don't want to like take a tea break between each battle, and it just drove me nuts. So anyway, pissed me off because I didn't beat the last guy, and I'm like, okay, enough time has passed. I'm mad. My sleep is being disturbed. I'm emotionally unbalanced. I need to go back and beat this game to like find peace in my life. And so I restarted it a couple weeks ago. Been playing it, giving these updates weekly on the show, and I gotta say, I beat it. I completely beat it. Finished the game a couple days ago. Posted a picture as proof in case anybody didn't think I was telling the truth. Nice. It's me standing over the last boss's dead body. Would have been peeing on him if I could, but that is not an option in Sekiro. And it was okay. Like I feel like it's weird because coming back to it, in hindsight, a lot of things that were big barriers to me last time were not barriers this time. Whether it's just because I played Wo Long in the interim, or because I already knew what was coming, or maybe a combination of those things. I felt like a lot of the brick walls that stopped me last time were not brick walls this time, which is great. I'm gonna just say that I got better as a player. I don't know that that's true. And very few of the bosses were like serious challenge. I mean, okay, well, hold on. I don't want to say that it's not a serious challenge. I'm not trying to like humble brag or anything. I'm just saying that like a boss that last time took me 30 tries took me like 3 tries. So I'm not bragging or anything. I'm just saying like I didn't get stuck as much as I did last time. And when I finally got to the last boss, I had the anxiety, right? I had the stress. I'm like, I caved at this point last time. Am I going to cave again? Am I going to push forward? And I'm really glad to say that I did push forward. I got some help from the Fightin' Cowboy. He does a YouTube series. Actually, very few of the strategies he suggested worked for me because I think he's just an all-around better player than I am. But being able to watch some of the particular moves was like getting more education and knowledge about the moveset. And then between that and just looking at other people's strategies, like it's like everybody who put out a video had a different strategy. And so I kind of picked and chose. And one of the things that people suggested to me was to use the umbrella. I never used the umbrella in my first playthrough. It's a steel umbrella. It's almost like a shield, but it's limited use. You can only use it so many times. And so I didn't want to rely on something that wasn't usable all the time. Probably why I barely ever use magic users in RPGs, because they don't want to be reliant on like magic potions, and if you run out, you get screwed. So I spent the entire game working on an umbrella build, spec'd it out. I got the materials you needed to upgrade. I got the right umbrella, and then I got to the battle. And then once I started doing the battle, I'm like, wait a minute, like I don't need the umbrella. Like I see something else, and so I ended up settling on something that worked for me, and it was just about getting some tips. Studying a lot. Altogether, the final battle, probably took me about 3 hours, I think, of like repeat tries, because it's not an easy battle. But I did get to the point of where I was like getting a perfect on his first 2 phases, and then I had enough life potions to like power through the last 2 phases, because it's a 4-phase boss fight, which sucks.
Gross.
But I got there. I did it. I did all the stuff. And after I beat the game, I still kind of felt like I wanted to kick it some more, because I was just mad about it still.
You just kick it while it's down.
Yeah, exactly, right? So there's another optional boss that's even beyond the last boss. He's called the Demon of Hatred, and a lot of people hate that boss because it's really cheap and shitty. I'm like, I bet I could probably do it. I'm in the zone. I'm going to go do it. And I went to go fight him, and like the second time I fought him, I almost did him legit. Like I had him down to like a sliver, and then I fucked up. So I almost did it like right off the bat. But then after that, like I lost the mojo, and I died. And there's actually a cheese way to kill him, where you jump up on a roof and he chases you and he falls off a cliff.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
So I did that.
You did it? Was it satisfying?
Yeah, it would have been better if I had beat him straight up. I would have felt like I really owned that game, but it was pretty funny to watch that fucker go falling off the cliff like a dumbass.
Nice.
So. Anyway, that's a bow on Sekiro, folks. I got my revenge. I put my mind to it. I spent a lot of time on it. Thank you to YouTube, Fighting Cowboy, and everybody else who's made a video that helped me. And my friend Ryan from Twitter gave me a lot of help. Specifically, he had a lot of good strategies, even if I didn't use them at the end. But his support was great. Like, nice to know I had a person in my corner.
Yeah.
So that was good. So thanks, Ryan. And Sekiro is done, and I can now sleep easy.
Well, congratulations. We'll get you a plaque. We have to at some point. And yeah, it's a big deal. I mean, again, we feel good about victory. There's probably a tangent here that's, about the mental condition, etc.
Yeah, exactly.
But we won't go into that now. But I will say a tangent is that another show that we just did at work was about Black Desert Online.
Yeah.
Which is really fun, and I think I'm going to play it on PS5.
All right.
Restart it. But there was a guy on our stream who was trying to beat a boss, speaking of bosses, and died. And then he sat there for a while, when you're kind of like in disbelief.
Yeah.
And he goes... He put I called the clip putting a positive spin on losing to a boss, because he's like, I think I did good. I think I did well. I think I did good. The only problem was I didn't do enough damage and I died. And I just laughed so hard, because that's like a nice positive way to say,
yes.
I made a try at it. Anywho, I love that clip.
Yes. I attempted it.
I attempted it.
Yeah, that's a plus column.
Yeah.
So, it's fun.
Bosses. Yeah. Anywho.
All right, that's all I've got for housekeeping. You good on your side over there?
Let's close it up.
All right, let's move on to the main portion of our show. Got lots of stuff to talk about. We've got a very interesting one to talk about at the end. I'm quite excited to talk about it. But for now, let's start where we always should start, the beginning. And we're going to turn it over to you, my friend, for Gourdlets, which is, you said you found it on the Steam Never Ending Next Fest.
Yes. And it's also, there's other reason I bring it to the show is not just because of the game, which I do want people to check out, but I realized it's a genre of game. We talked about this last episode. There's certain genres that I won't ever play again. Kind of going back to fighting games, I probably won't play them again, unless something came around where it's a kind of hybrid, fighting game. But then there's other types of genres that I didn't know that I wanted to play, and that's what this one is.
Okay.
So Gourdlets is a city building sandbox. In general, your Sim cities, you think of that kind of thing. You think of, what's the huge one? Skylines, City Skylines.
City Skylines, sure.
Those types of games. Obviously, we play games that are similar to that, but there's like survival, like Frostpunk, etc. But what this one is, it just pitched itself, and it's just a demo right now, not out yet. But it pitched itself as, it's called Gourdlet, so you just have these little plant creatures, kind of like a little mini Pokemon or something. And you build an area, and there's no objectives, there's no point to it. There's just building things and then watching the little Gourdlets visit your town.
Huh.
So Animal Crossing, I guess.
Okay.
But even Animal Crossing, there's fucking errands. There's all this money you owe. And it's
collecting
bullshit.
of stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
This is literally, it plops you down. Right now I don't like that it's WASD. It's, it's a keyboard and mouse thing.
Yeah.
Because it's a demo. But you just, move around with WASD. You put things down. You can turn them around or whatever, resize them and stuff. Put down buildings, put down walkways, and then a train just pops up and drops off some Gourdlets here and there, and they come and visit. But there's something I can't describe about it. One, it's just effortless, which you love to just kind of have something you can relax with.
Okay, that's always good, yes.
And obviously, because it's a mouse, you just literally just drawing in land. You put down a house, you put down some lights or whatever, and everything you do just works. So like I'll put down a house, and inside it you can put down make it a cafe. And say it's raining outside and there's a vibe to it.
Is this like a menu, or is it just because of the furnishings you're putting in there?
Yeah, so the furnishings. So you put down a house, you go inside it, and then whatever is available, which isn't a ton of things, but let's say you can build a cafe. You put down a little cappuccino maker. You put down,
Okay. But you're not
stuff.
Designating it in a menu like this is a cafe.
No.
Okay.
You're just putting things down.
Gotcha.
That's what the whole game is. You're putting things down. So and so you do that, and so at some point, Gourdlet will just come in and have a coffee and sit down and be cozy. Say you build a deck by the water, a Gourdlet will just walk over and start fishing because that's what you do.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
It just works. It's I can't believe there isn't more games like this. I think there might be. There's one that you talked about with the little houses. What was that one with the little houses and you just built things?
Oh, Jesus.
It was all these little town. It was called Town something?
Townscaper?
Fort something? Townscaper, yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't that kind of it was a puzzle game though, right?
It was just like a build. There was nothing to it. You just did it for the fun of it.
Well, that's kind of, again, what this is then, right? But the difference is it's mixing that with Animal Crossing where, these little creatures are just coming in and doing things. And also, I don't play a lot of these games because generally there's a fail or, you feel bad because, the little creatures are upset or something. You haven't done the right things.
Yeah.
This doesn't have any of that. It's every once in a while a train stops by to drop more of them off. But then they just go do things. They'll sit at a bench. If you built a fireplace and a bench next to the fireplace, they'll sit by the fire.
Oh, okay.
That seems cool. It's so simple, but I'm telling you, if you want to relax, you got to play this Gourdlets.
Yeah, it sounds like a real chill kind of vibe. Just enjoy the ambiance. And it feels good. We don't really talk about this often, but I feel like it's a good, positive, too rare sensation of building something and having it be successful and seeing other people enjoy what you've done. It's just a really wholesome feeling, just on a human scale, not just in games, but and to replicate that in a game is something that I feel like we don't spend a lot of time on. I mean, we spend a lot of time shooting, jumping, PvP, whatever. And there are building and construction games, but something like you're describing sounds just hey, I'm just going to do this thing just to make something. And then just to revel in the pleasure of it is not too common, I don't think.
It isn't. And I think there was that one game I played, or we both played, where you just build scenes. Do you remember that? It was just picturesque scenes you built.
Oh man!
It was you're just in limbo, and there was just one scene. It was kind of pixely.
Was it the one that was plants, and it was in a post-apocalypse?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I know you're talking about, but I don't know the name of it.
But that's again, that still kind of had a puzzle element to it. But you just build something to build it, and if people are listening and know more of these, let me know. But it just seems like there's not too many. In the description of this game, it says, grab a blanket, brew up a cup of chamomile tea, and get snuggled with some Gourdlets.
Grab a blanket. I love it.
It's so true, dude. It's crazy. I don't know. Life is so nuts, and it's just so relaxing. Another example is you build a beach area because there's different, land pieces, sand and grass. And all that.
Yeah.
And if you build a beach area, a little Gourdlet will go along and start making a sandcastle because why not?
That's fun.
So Gourdlets, check it out. The demo's up now. I'm going to wishlist it, so when it comes out, I will have it. I will purchase this full price, because there is no price you could put on this to, for relaxation. Made by Auntie Games. Auntie Games.
Okay. ANTI or
AUNTY.
Oh, okay,
Auntie?
gotcha.
Do you say Auntie or Auntie?
I say Auntie, but I've heard it both ways.
Publishers Future Friends, adorable.
Yeah.
And Auntie Games has made a bunch of games. Oh my goodness! Oh wait, you're not gonna like this. Now I never know if Steam's right. Oh, Future Friends is the publisher. Okay, Future
the publisher
Friends.
is probably what you're looking at.
They
there,
published XO1, which I liked and you didn't like.
Oh yeah, I remember
the little disc.
Cool idea, super boring in practice. Yeah,
I agree to disagree. I really like that game. But anyways, check it out. Gourdlets. There's my first game, and I'm playing the demo now on Next Fest.
Right on. All right, let me talk for a minute about Auralux Constellations. It's Auralux. Auralux Constellations. This is one that we got sent a code for just out of the blue. I didn't know anything about this one, so I figured I would check it out. It's on Switch, and I'm always up for something new and different and interesting. I didn't realize, I'm like 99% sure this started as a mobile game, which probably explains a lot. And not to slag mobile games, even though most mobile games are complete shit, but there are some good ones, and this is... I don't know. I don't want to say it's not a good one, but I had some issues with it. So what is Auralux Constellations? It is basically the most stripped down RTS you could ever imagine. Real-time strategy. You start off with a planet. So it's a bunch of boards. So you start the game, there's a whole bunch of different levels. And you just pick a level, and what happens is you're the blue planet, and then there's always an orange planet and a green planet, and those are your opposing planets. You're generally starting off at opposite ends of the board, and they take the shape of different star fields or whatever. Sometimes they're in the shape of a Y, sometimes they're in the shape of an X, sometimes it's a square. It's just a bunch of planets that are empty. So there's a blue planet, orange planet, green planet. They're all at opposite ends. In the middle is a bunch of gray planets, which are unclaimed planets. And then every second or so, your planet kicks out a little ball of energy, and it circles around you like a little satellite. And it just boom, 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 just makes them automatically. And after a while, you can send those little sparks of energy over to an unclaimed planet to claim it, and then it turns blue, and then that one starts kicking out those little balls of energy as well. So basically, every planet you have is like a little unit generator, and it works on a rhythm, its own rhythm. And then every time you take over one, then it becomes yours, and you can make more and take over more planets that way. So of course, the opposite planets are trying to do the exact same thing, right? The orange dudes are trying to take over their section of the galaxy. The green dudes trying to take over their section. And then you're the blue trying to build up your army and take up more planets as much as you can. Of course, the more planets you get, the more units you have access to, and that gives you more power. I don't know if you're super familiar with StarCraft, Carlos?
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day. I didn't play a lot of StarCraft. I played some, not much. But the phrase Zerg Rush, does that mean anything to you?
It sounds familiar.
So I'm not an expert on StarCraft, but I do remember this. So basically the Zerg are like the alien race in StarCraft, and their whole thing is swarming. So you get a Zerg thing, you build up a bunch of small units, 1 million of them, and then you send them all swarming into the enemy base, and it's just even though each individual unit is just really weak, there's just so many of them, you cannot stand up to them because it's too much. Mm-hmm. So that is basically what this game is like. Zerg Rush the game, because that's what you do every single time. You build up a bunch of enemy or units as much as you can, take over planets, and then you just send your army to take over the other planets, and the other people are doing the exact same thing. So it is simplified and stripped down in a real basic way, because I do feel like a lot of RTSs get too complicated. For me, who is not an RTS fan, and I definitely feel like if you're an RTS player, I feel like you are your own kind of person. I don't think that general video game skills transfer to RTSs very well, and vice versa. I feel like the management, the moving the screen around, the constant 100 things going at once,
yeah, it's particular.
Yeah, it's a very particular skill set, and I do not have that skill set. So I'm always interested in stripped down RTSs, right? So that's why I checked this one out, other than the fact that they sent us the code for free. But after a level or two, I was like, okay, I get it, but all I'm doing is just Zerg rushing over and over and over, and I'm always 2 against 1. It never feels like a fair fight. It always feels like I'm always getting bullied. Every time I start making progress on the green, the orange dudes get me from behind. I go back to respond to the orange dudes, and the green dudes get me. And it just feels like every match played out the same to me, where it was build up, build up, build up, build up, build up. Everybody's building up, tug of war, until one of the colors gets one more planet than the rest, and then that's the tipping point, and then it just like snowballs from there. Like you've just got enough dudes to you just like steamroll everybody, and then you win, and then you just like do it again in the next level. So it is streamlined, but I think maybe almost to a fault, and I needed a little bit more to it. And also, I really disliked having it be 2 against 1 odds every single time. I just felt like that was bullshit. Like, I mean, I just disliked that because it made the matches go on for too long. And I felt like it was just, you know, when you're going against 2 computer AIs, the AI always has an advantage usually. And it just didn't feel fun to me.
Dude, that reminds me though, when I played RTSs back in the day, it would be like 2 AIs on a battlefield. And I would be like, just like you just said, like I'd be handling one of them and the other one would get me.
Yeah.
You know, and I'd be like, damn it, that feels bad.
Yeah, it does feel bad. And it's just like this really long, extended, like tug of war. And it was just like, okay, like I get it. I mean, there's a million levels in this game apparently. And I did a couple because I got tired of it pretty quick. I will say also the tutorial was broken. I couldn't finish the tutorial. So maybe there was something else to that game that I don't know about. But I couldn't finish it because the whole point of this game is that your planet makes those little energy dudes. And in the tutorial, my planet stopped making the energy dudes and I couldn't continue the game. I couldn't do anything. So you got to fix the tutorial. Doesn't work. And then also the controls were really mushy and not crisp. I found it very easy to like click on an area that you wanted the guys to go to, and then you want to tell them where to go. But then sometimes the clicking would get off balance where you think you were clicking your guy, but actually you're clicking the destination, and it ends up being backwards because it's just the way that it's hard to describe, but like it's very unclear. And if you just do one tap too many on your button, then it sets off your rhythm and the whole thing gets off wrong. I really wanted to like drag and drop in some instances. That wasn't available, where I wanted to just like hold A on a certain group of guys, bring them over, and then let them go. That's not possible. And what ended up happening was I looked in the menu, and there's one button that like controls all of the guys on the board at once, and that was the one I just did that. So I just hit like the Y button over and over and over. It was just like click, 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 click. Everybody. It just wasn't enough to it. It wasn't entertaining enough, and it was the kind of same gameplay over and over where I would just Zerg rush all the time and then go on to the next one. And okay, I get it. And if this was a mobile game, I can totally see how that would be. You want it simple. You want finger controls on a small screen. I get it. But as cool as it is to want to strip down the RTS formula, and I think that's a worthwhile cause, this one I think maybe went a little too far in the wrong direction.
Yeah, it literally says on the page RTS deconstructed.
Yeah,
on its detail page, and also it says it's really about a vibe with the music too. And you don't do music usually.
No, I don't listen to music when I'm playing in bed.
I feel like that's just to play devil's advocate, part of what they're trying to build, which is those kind of games where you just kind of chill out with the music part as well as that.
Sure.
But again, you got to enjoy the actual RTS. And I don't. I'm so not that person either. So
yeah, barely ever do I connect with them, and I keep trying. I've played a lot of them, and very rare do I find one. And this one was not one. So anyway, Auralux Constellations, not for me. Sorry.
Okay, and before we go to my game, I just thought of something. I'm going to make you a T-shirt. I have those, those stores you can make T-shirts on.
Yeah.
And it's going to be. It's just the only words are going to be "I hate your tutorial." That's it.
I would wear it proudly.
I
yes.
think you would.
Oh man. Okay, so enough of that one. Over to you, Carlos, for something that I was pretty curious about: the Greyhill Incident. This is a first-person scary game, which in general is not something that I'm down for. But instead of being a Lost Memories thing or a weird Silent Hill rehash or anything, it's like in the middle of a gray alien invasion, which I felt like it was kind of a funny spin on things. Not funny. I mean, I don't think it's a comedy game, but for me, I thought it was kind of funny. So I am curious to see what you thought of the Greyhill Incident.
I'm interested in the reviews now. I just went to the Steam page, and unfortunately on Steam, this is just Steam, the reviews are mostly negative. And I was like,
oh, really? Okay.
Well, that's interesting because I didn't feel that. Spoiler, I think it's a quite interesting and, rather fun game. Not super negative. There's nothing really too negative to say about it. But what is this game? And then I'll get into some of the Steam reviews actually, because I'm interested. The Greyhill Incident, story-driven survival horror game, first person, about an alien invasion that takes place in the 90s, which is very specific.
Okay.
I don't know why they picked that, but it is. and the media is talking about, it being conspiracy theories and there's no aliens and there's nothing to see here kind of thing on the TV.
Just like in real life.
Just like in real life. No, actually, no, it isn't. Because now the government's just talking about aliens.
They kind of are talking about aliens, sort of, but yeah.
I know. But, it's kind of different. It's like it's trying to be kitschy and like the TV is like over the top, like nothing to see here, So it's to me, it's kind of a comedy game. So if some of these reviews are about it being realistic, I don't think it's ever trying to be.
Oh, I didn't get that vibe at all from the trailer. I mean, I have more with you. It seemed a little bit more like tongue-in-cheek a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, because maybe, I don't know, maybe people went into it thinking differently. By the way, it is $25, so maybe that's another reason.
Okay, that seems a little steep for what it looks like.
I feel like it's a $20 game, yeah, when you get in there. But yeah, you go in and you start as a character in a house with, I think you're the dad and your kid's there, and you're kind of just, it's all very gray, obviously gray, but gray kind of green hue look to it. So like,
are you like in a farm area? Are you like in cornfields and
you're
stuff?
in a house. That's where you start. And yeah, you're out in the middle of the woods kind of, or in the farm area, because there's cows and, pastures, etc., and farming stuff. But yeah, you start in the house and it's really kind of focused on there and like looking around and figuring out the controls. I do appreciate that the, run fast button is pretty fast, because I hate these kind of games where you have to like plod along and it's super slow.
Yeah, agreed.
It's very fast. There is a stamina meter, but I feel like I can move around pretty good. And then the frame rate was great. I was playing it on the Xbox and it was like 70 frames. Like it was like fast.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, I'm in. It's not like slow. And these kind of games, when they get down to the 25s and 20s.
Nice and smooth.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Nice and smooth. So that's good. To me, it was comedy. So like the kind of like narrative they were telling, I just took, tongue-in-cheek kind of way. So because the game, by the way, starts in a long intro sequence where you just hear people talking in the town, like just the audio of them.
Yeah.
And they're basically setting up all the characters. So this feels like a character story too. Like, that's the guy who owns that one farm and has the tinfoil hat and he thinks everything's coming together.
Yeah. I thought that was one of the aspects of this game, was like there were like personality people in the town that you would have to talk to or save possibly. And it was, it kind of seemed like small town. Oh, I got to go rescue Jeb out at the windmill and I got to find Susan down at the cafe.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of a thing, right? Yeah.
That's what it is. And that's the vibe that I'm interested why they're not in the reviews on Steam. But that's what I got, And so you get all that just in audio. Then you're in the house. Then you're trying to figure out, there seems to be something amiss outside and some weird noises and some weird lights. And you see on TV, they're talking about, don't worry, there's no aliens. So obviously there's aliens.
Of course there's aliens, yes.
So you go out to the shed, and the first thing is like there's something in the shed. And I thought, this is such a small like detail, but I think the devs, if they listen, will appreciate that I noticed this. And, there's something in the shed, kind of like E.T. moment, where like it's really loud in there.
Yeah.
You finally find something to open the shed. You go in, and as soon as you go in, there's no alien, but there's just a glimmer of a green light that leaves. And it's like, and you have to look for it. Like you have to quickly look up at the ceiling and you see just a little glimmer. And it was like, wait, did I see something? And I was like, wow, that's a small little touch I like.
I bet that's exactly what they were going for.
It was, yeah. And then, I mean, I don't know specifically, but I'm sure it was. And then later on, there's like, spoiler, it's in the trailer. There's aliens.
Oh, yeah, it's all over the
trailer.
Like,
there's like combat and stuff. But it all seems like very light combat. I haven't done too much. There's a gun. There's a crowbar. Mainly, what I've been enjoying is the weird little world they built. When I just helped the tinfoil guy. I forgot what his name was. He had a cat, and I rescued the cat, and then he had me in to talk a while about what his theories were. And then he gave me some tinfoil so that I could go.
For real, make your own
cats.
hat.
Yeah.
Nice.
And the other vibe I got from this game. This is gonna be probably a positive review, I think. But I got an Alan Wake vibe.
Yeah, okay. So this is exactly what I was hoping you were going to say, dude, because I don't play a lot of spooky games, but something about this one was like, wait a minute, this kind of seems like there might be something here. And what you're describing is like everything that I was kind of hoping you were going to say. Like, I want it to be about the town, the kooky people, like the Alan Wake, like the log lady and the people in the town and stuff, that whole stuff. I mean, that's for me, really interesting. I'd have no use for another running through dark corridors shooting stuff or running from things. But if you're having like the town and the weird people approach, that sounds dope, dude. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I really think it's hitting an interesting in between spot. There are by the way, there are a lot of positive reviews on Steam as well. Good atmosphere, they say. Good story idea, characters.
Are you getting killed a lot? Like, is there a lot of like? Are you like scrounging for health packs and stuff, or like what is that aspect of the game?
I'll tell you what I think everything,
Okay.
all the negativities about, because we've been playing games for so long. We know, I can just know right away. The only cons I'll say, and what I think people are like, not as happy about is it's a little buggy / not polished.
Sure,
it's a small studio, and we look past that in a second. Right?
Yeah, don't care.
That I don't care at all. Invisible walls and stuff like that, whatever. It's just a small studio. They're trying to put together this game.
Sure.
And by the way, some of the cutscenes with the ships are fucking amazing. I'm like, you can see it's kind of thrown together at times, or like, limited resources. And then at times you're like, no, wait, this is a AAA moment. Like the shading and stuff on that one. There's a ship that just is hovering above a house. And I'm like, oh, if that was in a serious game, or, there's serious moments. But if this was in a different game, that's a AAA scene.
Right.
And then the Alan Wake vibes. But the other thing is that it's short, I heard. I didn't finish it. But
also not a con.
Not a con for me either. Like, that's just done. Like, I love it. Like, I'm going to go back and try to finish it, because if it is short, that's great to me. And then, I think $25, people were saying, like, maybe a little too much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. 25 seems like there's a big difference between 20 and 25, and it's probably silly, but like in my head, that's different, and I bet a lot of people feel like it's different too. I have a question for you though.
Yeah.
So this sounds great, and I think you're actually selling me on this one. But the one thing I want to know is, like, is there a bunch of jump scares? Because I'm not a big fan of jump scares. Are you constantly getting jump scared? No.
That's not what this game is. I mean, unless I missed it later on, but you can just tell the vibe of the game when you start it. It's about going and finding things, collecting things, light combat, and it's kitschy, it's weird, it's different.
Okay, good. That's the vibe I was getting from the trailer, and you've just like confirmed all of those like suspicions that I had, and I'm glad you've confirmed those, because that is what I was hoping to hear.
Yeah, someone said it's like their con in the review was like, it's not scary, but I don't think it's trying to be that. The only con that I will say is a true con.
Okay,
because we keep it real here.
Keeping it real.
They have a light, like a flashlight.
Yeah.
That you have to crank.
Okay.
No fucking reason, bro. No fucking reason. Get it out the game. Get it out the game. Okay?
Yes. Okay.
No one wants to crank anything in a game where you're exploring and doing these things. Fuck that thing. I don't know
what's really
why
funny,
they
though?
built that.
You know what is funny? I'll tell you something that's really funny. I actually have a crank flashlight in real life. I have one.
Nice. Well, that's fun because there's no power and then you're safe. That's I get
you never
it.
run out of batteries, but you got to have arm power. Yeah,
It's not fun in this game. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I
just kept tired of like hitting a button for it.
Sure.
Yeah, and again, I think the voice acting is fine. I think it fits the vibe of this game. Sorry, I keep going back to the reviews because I'm mad at them. I just think it's a pretty good game, and I might even think differently about the ending. I want to go check out the ending, but I like it. I think you should check it out if you liked any of the things I just said.
Yeah, this sounds pretty cool, dude. I'm not up for another one of those forgot my memories, I'm in a weird location, scary, running through hallways bullshit, but this seems like something different. This seems like you're in the town, the aliens, the slightly, maybe like a little bit of humor perhaps, or not intentional humor, but a lighter tone perhaps.
Yeah.
This sounds pretty dope, dude. I'm going to check this out, I think.
Check it out.
Check it out.
Yeah.
All right, cool. The Greyhill Incident. Yes. All right, exciting. Let me talk for a second about Nova Lands. This is on the Switch, as was Auralux. This is I don't even know what you call these, but it's kind of like a top-down, pixel-based, 2D, I guess like a crafting game, I suppose. I don't know if that's exactly fair, but basically what happens is you play a person who crash lands on an alien planet, and you've just got your escape pod, and then you're just like in this zone. It's very abstract and gamified, and I that is 100% not a con at all. Like, it's not an open world. Each section that you play is like a little island. It's like a little, maybe like as big as one screen, and it's just like they're all shaped like hexagons or whatever, and it's all very delineated and clean, and just This is not supposed to be a real world simulator in any way. And for me, that's fine. 100% fine. Not even a con whatsoever. Just know what you're getting into. So basically you land and you got to like make stuff. You collect rocks to get stone. You collect wood to get wood. And you got to build some stuff. And at first you build like, I don't know, like a air purifier because you got to breathe. And then after the air purifier, you can get a little shelter or whatever. And you got to mine for resources. So basically you're just like collecting a bunch of stuff. And every time you make something, there's always something next on the tech tree. So like you get the I don't know, the oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking. I'm having a very coffee poor morning right now.
I know. I think of the opposite. I have too much coffee.
Oh man, I need to have some of your coffee. Give me some of yours. But basically, like you'll be like, okay, here's the kiln or whatever. You got to throw wood in it, and then from the kiln you get like the big industrial oven, and then from the big industrial oven you get like the mega oven, and then after that it's like the nuclear oven. Like it's you got to just like upgrade your stuff, and everything you have upgrades a certain way. So this is all just like 1,000 other games so far, right? There's nothing really to recommend this, but this game does something that's really, 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 really smart and cool, which I thought was great. And I want to give like a big round of applause to them. So in this game, you have robots, and these robots do almost anything you can tell them to. So once you figure out what you're doing, like if you're like, okay, well, I've got the kiln and I need to get wood to put it in the kiln, and the kiln will make charcoal, and then I got to get the charcoal to put it in this other thing to make a thing. So like once you figure out what you're doing, you can build a little radio station, and this radio station will give orders to your robots that you build. And then you're like, okay, robot A, go get wood. Robot B, put the wood in the fireplace or whatever. Robot C, take the carbon that's left over and put it over here. And they just fucking do it. And they just do it all the time. And so once you know what you want them to do, you just tell them to go fucking do it, and they do it, and you don't have to do it anymore, which is awesome, which is really great, because doing repetitive, I mean, if you're a person who likes joy in repetitive tasks like that, cool. I mean, there's no judgment there. If that floats your boat, go for it. But for me, I don't want to do the drudgery of doing something like that, and I want to kind of just do something else. But this is like how the whole game works. The whole game is based on these like crafting chains, and so you got to do it, but they give you these robots to do it for you, and it works really well. I've got to say, the menu and the UI and the way that they have worked out the robots is pretty brilliant, dude. It's brilliant in its simplicity, because all you got to do is click on some shit and you're like, oh, I get it. I know what to do. This makes sense to me. It's not complicated. It's very logical. It's very straightforward and clean. And they've just done a really masterful job of taking the system, which could have been incredibly overcomplicated, and instead they make it super simple and straightforward and streamlined. So, I mean, total kudos, huge round of applause for the robot system. I think it's great. I really love it a lot, and I think it's excellent. I'm just so impressed, because it really does address a lot of the problems that I specifically have had with games like this, where I feel like I want a chill out game, like a relaxing game, kind of like the one that you talked about earlier, kind of like Gourdlets, but I don't want to do the grind, right? And so to get the robots to do the grind for you is pretty fucking cool. I really dig that a lot. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Graveyard Keeper, which is another one that I really like, where at a certain point you can create zombies to do the drudgery for you, which is basically yeah. It's not. To be fair, they actually do it better in this game. I think the robot system is better than the zombie system, but same idea of like you just get something to do it for you, so you can do something else while you still get your basic needs met. So kudos, I love that a lot. I think it's really great.
And robots are better than zombies at doing things. Come on.
They are more efficient. You can upgrade them. You've got little drones that can fly. There's some that have lasers. You can have some protecting ones. You can have some farming ones. Like, you can get the robots to do anything. And I think that's really fucking cool. I think it's just so great, and I love that system a lot. I played this game for a pretty long time, and I feel like if you like that kind of resource gathering, tech tree evolving sort of gameplay, this is a really good one to play. That's not like my comfort zone. It's not my happy zone, but I really had a good time working with the robots and getting that going for a while. I noped out of it, but not because of anything bad. I think it's just like I'm just not that guy really. And so when I got about 2/3 of the way through the tech tree, I got to a point at which I was just like, okay, I can see the shape of things. There's not really any more surprises to come. And so I'm just going to like keep, it's going to take me 2 hours to grind for the robots to grind out enough carbon for me to make 10 diamonds. And the 10 diamonds is going to be used to make the super satellite or whatever. And I just kind of like, okay, like I get it. Like I get it, and I'm cool. And I had a good time, and that's all I needed, I guess. I was just done. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But there is some stuff. I mean, obviously there's some stuff I didn't see. I've heard from other people that, other options open up. Like there's you get like kind of like commerce thing going or whatever, which is really cool. So if you like this kind of like inventory management, crafting, tech tree stuff, this is a really, really good one. I think it's really good. And I had a really good time with it. I just, not a judgment or anything. I just wasn't interested in putting another 10 or 15 hours into just like managing the flow of resources. Not my jam.
Yeah.
But I feel like what it did really well. And I really applaud what they did. And I recognize how good it is. Just not my flavor.
One question and one comment.
Yeah.
The comment is, it reminds me of that super popular game at times. What is it? Industrial Complex game or something.
Factorio?
Yeah. See, we've been covering games so long. I could just say two words together, and you know the game I mean.
If you catch me on a good day, otherwise I'm going to be
most of the time.
Forever. Yeah, it's most.
Yeah,
of the
so
time.
it seems like it has vibes of that at times.
Yeah, totally. It's like that, but not as complicated, not as obtuse, much easier to navigate.
Right.
But yeah, basically same thing. Yeah.
And then the question, or just kind of like maybe an alternate comment, is that it seems like in the trailer there is some story stuff and some boss stuff. So it seems like you are working towards like a story-ish thing as well, not just doing the stuff.
Yeah, there is some story to it. It's really light though. It's like you got to find other survivors, and they set up little shops, and then there's like a little Animal Crossing vibe comes into it at one point, which didn't really hook me, but I appreciate that it was there. And there are bosses, and the bosses are pretty interesting. Each island has its own boss, and they're all very different. You can straight up fight them if you want. And in fact, they tell you this before you do the boss. They're like, okay, so listen, there's a boss down there, FYI. You can fight them, or you can do this other thing, and it'll be just the same as if you fought them, and it doesn't matter, and you don't have to fight them. So if you want to fight them, go for it. I did, and it's good you reminded me of that, because I felt like that was a con, because there was too many ads, and the boss had some regenerating health, and I felt like it was kind of bullshit. So I wanted to kill the boss just to get some action in this tech tree game, but I felt like the boss was not great, not a good design. But what you can do is instead you grow this one specific flower, which is not very hard. You grow the flower, you give it to the boss, and they're like, cool, we're friends. And then they fuck off. Yeah, they fuck off.
What's it called in Mortal Kombat?
Like a friendship. Yeah. You can do a friendship, or you can fight them. So if you're the tech tree person who does not want to mess with combat, you actually don't have to, which is, again, brilliant. But also, I would have appreciated if the boss battle was better, because I felt like it was crap. But you could skip the whole thing, so I guess it's kind of in the wash, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, this is a really good one. If you like the tech tree, resource management, Factorio sort of thing, very good one. I am not that guy, but this is quality shit, and I think it's a thumbs up for sure if you like those.
All right. And before we go to the next game, you said something that also is a good podcast title.
What's that?
I did not want to leave it. You collect wood to get wood.
Collect wood to get wood. That's pretty good.
It's pretty good. I mean,
That's
like,
pretty good.
That's another shirt, man. We should just make shirts. By the way, and this is something I'm going to do today. We don't get any money for the show, so I think I'm going to start selling shirts if it's cool. If you're cool with it,
Yeah, go ahead, man. You can.
I hate your tutorial.
Of collect wood to get wood.
And you collect wood to get wood. That's a good shirt. I would definitely wear that shirt.
I mean, there you go. It's a side business. They can have some income to support the podcast. Here.
Okay, I'm doing it today.
Do it. All right. That is Nova Lands. It's a great one if you like those. Very, very good stuff. Over to you for a circle back on Final Fantasy 16. And it's just an asterisk. I'm going to steal your asterisk real quick if I can borrow that for a moment.
Please.
I downloaded the demo, but I didn't get around to playing it because I was pretty busy. And then you got it. You were kind of raving about it. Everybody I listened to was like, oh my God, this game's amazing. And I started to get like that crazy feeling of like, maybe I should just buy it, which I did with Diablo. And I'm like, no. I just did that with Diablo. I'm going to hold off. I'm not going to do that twice. So I waited, and I started watching videos, and I started watching people talk about it. And I am so glad I didn't buy this game. This seems like 100% not my jam at all.
Oh, okay.
And I'm so glad that I didn't get this. This is not a judgment. It's just me personally watching people do the combat and stuff. I noped out immediately once I figured out what it was about. So
question
not
on
for
that,
me.
Though. Yeah, but did you like Final Fantasy 15? I forgot.
Didn't even play it. Didn't even bother playing it.
Wow.
Didn't have time.
Watch the differences between us. I played 100 hours of that game, or maybe more, and you didn't ever even touch it.
Yeah, I didn't even touch it.
Well, then that kind of already tells you, 16, if anything, as you've seen, is definitely more of an action game anyhow.
Yeah, and that was when I was like, oh man, I was like, I don't want none of that, dude. Not at all. Yeah.
And 15 had more strategy with action, but And by the way, this is another quick asterisk. Some of the people that worked, what is it? I'm going to mix this up. Some other developers helped with Final Fantasy 16. They worked on Scalebound, I want to say.
Oh, wow. Geez, haven't heard that name in a while.
I know. I actually was at Microsoft when they were making that game. I want to say that. And also, like, it was a few people from a lot of different parts of Square Enix. So it's like, there are different feels to the combat. Some people say Devil May Cry, kind of.
That's what it kind of looked like to me, that vibe. Yeah, for sure.
At times. And I'll break it down in a minute. But yeah, I heard other, like, a secondary developer came in to work on some parts of it. I think it is for people from Scalebound, weirdly enough. Anywho, Final Fantasy 16, let me talk about it. I'm playing a lot of it. I do like it. It is definitely the most action-oriented Final Fantasy game. It definitely, at times, doesn't feel like Final Fantasy in that way. The world does. The characters do. There's chocobos. There's that vibe of, the characters feeling like they're out of a Final Fantasy game. But the combat is quite different, and even the progress system's different. So what is the game? You play, I think we talked about it in the demo, but you play as Clive. In the demo, you actually play as his brother, too, to kind of get that perspective of the different, characters. But luckily, and I don't think it's going to be changing anytime soon, the game is mainly you just playing as Clive. So the demo kind of is a fake out. You're not really playing as two characters the whole time.
Yeah.
So that's nice because that kid was slow. Sorry, kid. You were super slow. And I didn't care for your magic. And I won't say any spoilers about that kid. But yeah, so the game you play as Clive, and it is a very dark story. It is pretty sad. Generally things I don't like in my games or my shows. You play as a character, Clive, who basically, in the beginning of the game, gets everything taken away from him. His whole castle, his whole, well-being is destroyed. All of this is very spoiler territory, so I'm going to be very careful. And then 13 years later, you start the game proper after the demo. 13 years, right? And you've been a slave soldier this whole time, meaning like you are in servitude of this other empire that took over, and you had to be a soldier in this other, army, which sucks. And the whole time you're trying to figure out, what even caused that huge explosion of the castle, and you want to get retribution and redemption, all that stuff. So you play as that character, and what is the game? The game is really kind of not open world, but little mini maps, right, on a major map. So you go to a location, can explore it, then go out to the outer world and go to another section. What's a game that does that?
I mean, a lot of games do that, I feel like.
Right, but so many games nowadays that RPGs are just a true open world, but it's more back to the other style where you just go to sections.
Yeah. I get you. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Oh, because see, what's interesting, there are feeling of Forspoken in this game.
Okay.
And I think that some of the same people worked on it. I mean,
that would make sense. That would make sense.
Because Creative Business Unit 3 or whatever they're called. I think that's their name.
They sound like it's a party real hard on the weekend.
Yeah,
Creative
dude.
Business Unit number 3. Those guys are.
Look it up. I think it's Creative Unit 3 or something.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna look it up.
But there's vibes, and I'll tell you what those vibes are of their work in this game. But it is that that game is definitely just open world, and these are these little maps. But anyway, what you do is, and the biggest question is the combat.
It is Creative Business Unit 3.
There you go. Wow, I'm good, by the way.
Wow, that.
The fact that I remember it, I gave myself an award for, and then it is a funny name.
That is so rock and roll, dude. I love it.
Let me jump to why I mentioned them. So in Forspoken and them, who I think, again, worked on some of this game, they had different ability trees, right? And you would switch between them on the fly.
Yes.
In real time, doing different abilities.
Yep.
So this game has the same thing. So as you unlock different abilities, which I won't tell you how you do that, there are different magic and different, melee stuff. You literally can switch with a trigger button and go to that tree and do those moves. Hold down right trigger, push box, you're doing a special move. But you hit L trigger, go to fire mode.
Box?
Oh yeah, I by the way, never said that in the show, but I generally say box on PlayStation.
Square, man.
I know.
Square.
I have said box my whole life.
That is
Have I
so,
never said that on the show?
I mean, maybe, but I don't know. I guess not a
I've
lot.
always said box. Isn't that funny?
It's like a triangle. What do you call the other ones?
Circle X.
And box?
I think I say box.
That's unusual.
That could be a podcast name too, but let's move on.
Yeah, all right, move on.
The point is you hit a button to switch different abilities, right?
Yes,
So that's kind of
yes.
your main fighting mechanic, and you have like the basic, swing your sword, etc. But what this does is it just simplifies everything. Here's the TLDR. Is that it? TDLR?
Yes, you got it.
Yeah.
No, you had it. Yeah, TLDR.
Okay, TLDR.
Yeah.
It's a game where you just do basic combat. It's never too hard. Weirdly enough, it's level scaled to a point, so you can be like a few levels above the enemies, but never too much further. Like they're always pretty close to you. And it's never too hard though either. So it just wants you to go along for the story, do some combat that's cool as shit, but not think about it too much, not grind too much. When you get to the menu and doing all these different like ability upgrades and all the stuff you would think in an RPG, it's super simplified. Like just add more power to this one, upgrade this one, and get out of the menu.
Okay,
So
cool. Okay.
They just want you to have a good time with the story, learn about stuff, do side missions, and really the main story just keeps pushing you forward. Like it's like you just want to know what's going to happen.
Gotcha.
Then some big reveal will happen. You'll be like, what the fuck? Like a drama or something, you know?
Yeah.
And then you go, what's the next part? So that's what the game is. And so that's a love or hate thing. Like it's not really about failing or getting good or and you will like lose the bosses. But what's interesting about bosses is I'll be like want to throw the controller down because I had like one potion and 2 mega potions, fought the boss and lost easily. And I was like, oh fuck, I don't want to do this again. I restarted it. They call it retry, and they give you full potions.
Okay.
And I go, oh, maybe I can do it then. And then I did beat him. And I was like, oh. And then they'll do this other thing. Again, love, hate. They'll do those quick, what are they called? Quick time events?
Yeah.
And cutscene stuff in a fight, which again isn't like unheard of, but they might do it like 4 times in the fight. So like at the midway mark, I got the boss down halfway, it does a cutscene. And if I hit the right buttons at the right time, I take off a lot more life.
Gotcha.
See what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Yeah.
So it's like literally giving you like, I don't know what the metaphor is, gold gloves or something. Like it's giving you extra things to beat the hard parts.
Yeah.
So you never feel, and then you have those charms. Some of the charms are like auto evasion, I just think it's really different take. I like it because the story is very compelling. The story is very dark and sad at times, but that makes you want to, push forward and like get retribution for Clive. So I can see why it's not everybody's cup of tea, but for me, who loves a story, good story, and has been kind of frustrated with Get Good, I like that it's like, no, just, have fun with the combat. It's very addictive, I would say, and just get to the next story beat. Like that is the TLDR for the whole game.
So let me, so a couple things. A lot of people that I've been seeing on Twitter talk about this are kind of like, oh, this is not even remotely enough of a Final Fantasy for me. Like it's more of an action game and stuff. And so that's kind of being confirmed to what you're saying, is I know that, you like RPGs and stuff, but you also like your action games. This seems like maybe a good, Venn diagram with Final Fantasy 16 in the middle of those two things. But somebody summed it up to me, and I don't know if this is accurate or not, but they were like, oh, here's something to sell you on it. It's the story of Game of Thrones with the action of Bayonetta. And I'm like, I don't like either one of those things. So you actually noped me out of it. Thank you very much. But that was, to them, that was how they best summed it up. Do you think that's accurate at all?
It's slightly accurate, and the only difference is Bayonetta and things like Devil May Cry don't have like the Final Fantasy isms that this does, which is like there are hub towns still. There are side missions. I went and like found like good soil for a character. You know what I mean? They just wanted soil. Like that was their side mission.
Of course.
And then there's like chocobos, and there's enough Final Fantasy stuff, and like I can grind a little bit and just go fight random monsters in the marsh. So I think that's not in Devil May Cry, right? That's not as much in Bayonetta.
Yeah.
So that's why it's not just a true comparison to that. But I think that they're not totally wrong in the fact that it's an action game. It's really kind of like a fun action game.
Yeah.
The only con there for me, because I am going to play it and beat it, I think there's something to it that's super addictive. The con is that there's too many moves.
Oh, like your guy can do overcomplicated?
Yeah, it's helpful because some are on cooldown, right? Because there's cooldown to your abilities. And so like I do the fire moves and now I have nothing to, big moves left. So I go to my plant moves and I can use those. That's cool, but I'm a little overwhelmed and I don't like that in an RPG where like it felt the same if we're spoken, right?
Okay,
Again,
yeah.
same creative business unit people giving me like 18 options to do. And then that's not even to speak of the other thing, which is my last part of the preview, is that you can turn into, this is minor spoiler, but you can turn into a different form.
Okay.
It's quite a fucking different form, totally different mechanics.
Is it a lady? Is this a trans narrative game?
No.
Oh.
When I say different, I mean like, well, I'll just minor spoiler here. Skip ahead 1 minute.
Sure.
You
Skip ahead 1 minute.
You turn into a huge monster, like
Sure.
city building style monster. What are they called? Gaiju.
Like a kaiju?
Kaiju, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the mechanics are different, right? Like you're moving slow. There's like different buttons. And then there's even like an in-between, like a monster person. Like you just have
you're
like
a
monster
non-binary
abilities.
monster person?
Yeah, kind of. You just have
All right.
fire and stuff. And then you have different abilities. So that's like, that's the only con for me is that like there's so many movesets that I go like, I just want to know 3, and just kill it.
Gotcha.
But the beauty of this game is you don't have to know all of them. And you could just like do a few different ones you like a lot and it won't penalize you. It's really about just taking you along by the hand. And, they say later on when you beat the game, there's Final Fantasy mode, which is a weird name to call it. And it's harder. So it's like, you could make it harder later if you want. But
So are they saying that the basic mode is not Final Fantasy? Like, what is the basic mode then? Is that like dummy action?
I don't know why
mode,
they
or what does
called that.
even mean?
I hate that they called it that.
I
But
feel like that's kind of insulting in a way.
I think it is. Let me remove that from the podcast. No, I won't. But the regular story mode, then there's like action mode is what I'm playing.
Okay.
Which it's in the name, people. It's in the name. It's action mode. That's what this game is.
This game is action mode. Okay. All right.
I don't know, man. There's something to it. What's his name? Electric Playground. Remember that show? It's still going. What's his name? Electric Playground guy. He's so cool. Anyways, he's still doing a show on YouTube. You should check it out. He said it best, where it's like he can't put his finger on why this game is so addictive, but it is. It's like you just finish a little area, you just level up enough to get some new weapons and craft new things, then you get a story beat. And then it's a big reveal, and you're like, like a drama or something on Netflix.
Yeah.
And you got to watch that next episode. That's what this is. It's a Netflix series. That's what it feels like. It's like you have to binge it. And when it's never enough. I'm like, I just got to play another section.
I mean, that's just one more level feeling is a great feeling to have for sure.
That's what it is. And that's why I think that comparison's wrong. And the fact that some people noping out saying like, oh, it's just an action game and they got rid of the Final Fantasy. A, broaden your horizons, bro. B,
educate yourself, cretin.
well, evolve. Things don't have to be the same every time. And then secondly, it is until you play it, you don't know. There is something to built into this game.
Yeah.
That just it's like super addictive, man. And I'm gonna play it and beat it, and I really love it. I really, really, really love this game. I don't know if I should say I really, really like it, but I think I do love it.
It's still pretty recent. Don't jump to love. You got to have like your thorough dating period.
We're
for a
still
while
dating,
first.
and I'm enjoying our dates. Let's put it that way.
And that's good all in itself.
There you go. I'm having a good time with it.
He's having a good time. The dating's going well. All right, great. Well, that sounds very positive. And of course, most people in my feed are loving it. And it's getting very positive response. And I know that CJ at Game Critics, who is supposed to be giving me his written review any day now, tap, tap, tap. He's loving it too. He's really, spoiler, it's going to be a very positive review. He thinks it's great. So there you go. Final Fantasy 16.
Check it out.
Yeah, check it out. All right. Final game of the show is something that I've been looking forward to for a long time, but then it disappeared for a while. Disappeared off the radar. And I think it's very unfortunate that it popped back up on the radar at the exact same time as the game we just talked about, Final Fantasy 16, because regardless of my feelings on Final Fantasy 16, it's a runaway success and it is steamrolling everything else that's going on right now, which is a shame because this game is getting completely forgotten in the wake, which sucks. It is Aliens Dark Descent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's everybody was like, oh,
People
yeah.
go, oh, yeah, a lot.
Oh, yeah. So this game, it got a lot of press a while ago. Unfortunately, I think it came right on the heels of another Alien game, which was not great. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like Isolation came out and everybody loved that one. I didn't like it, but everybody else loved it. And then there was another Alien game that came out after that, which was kind of like a team-based shooter. Was it like Aliens Extinction?
Yeah, like a marine type
yeah.
soldiery
Oh
thing.
man, the game sucked. It was so boring. And I think people kind of just got tired of it. But I knew this one was coming, and I didn't know a lot about it. I knew it was kind of like an XCOM style kind of a thing. And then it just vanished, and now it's back. Well, spoiler, it's fucking awesome, and it's really good. Probably the best Aliens game ever made, and like literally no one can give a shit about it because it's getting buried in the wake of Final Fantasy 16, which sucks.
Well, two things about that. Two asterisks real quick.
Yeah.
One, it's all made up. Nothing's buried in anything. I have to go on this tangent.
Go ahead. Yeah, do it.
And you can accept it, and because you're in the press world and you literally get buried in emails, and there is a difference. But I just want to say this to the general public listening: there is and developers. There's no such thing as games being buried. People will say like Starfield's coming out in October, whatever, and our game better not go out then. It's a plant-based building game. Put out the game at the same day. You fucking idiots. There's no. And we can agree to disagree, but I think games can exist. I don't think games bury any other games. If I'm playing Diablo 4 like 20 hours a day, I might want a fucking different game to go to after that and not want to play more Diablo. Will I take more time with Diablo and not be able to play two Diablos at once? Maybe. Like two RPGs that are exactly like Diablo.
Right.
Okay, got it there. That's kind of buried. But then again, if it's good enough game, I'll play it later.
Sure.
And you'll get your money later, which, does go down the hill a little bit. But I hear that so much, at least on my timeline and stuff like that. Like, oh, this game's getting buried by this other game. And I don't understand if they're different types of games. I don't see the burying. And now please present the other side.
So I totally get what you're saying. And I agree in certain respect. But there's a couple things. So number one, one really negative aspect of the games industry right now is we're all really not me, but like a lot of publishers and developers, mostly publishers, are really invested in the opening weekend, and like that opening weekend really determines a lot of what happens for the rest of the game. So if the game doesn't do bonkers sales right off the bat, it's very rare that a publisher will be like, that's cool, we're going to have a long tail on this. We're going to do the slow burn sales. I mean, some smart publishers do that, and I appreciate when they do. But if a game doesn't do great on its opening weekend, that's like the death knell for a lot of games, and unfairly so. I don't agree with that. I don't think that's a good practice, but it just is, right? I've heard from a lot of people who were like, our game didn't do well when we dropped, and we got cut from the publisher the next week, and it, maybe it went on to have a great fan reception, maybe it became a cult classic or something, but the damage was done, right? So I think unfairly so, that is something that happens a lot. But the thing specifically that I'm referring to, and I agree with you that like if I'm playing a farming game, I can also buy a fighting game, and those two things don't cancel each other out. Mm-hmm. But one thing is that people only have so much money, and if people are going to put all their money towards Final Fantasy, they might not buy another game for like 2 weeks or a month or 2 months or something. So in that respect, it's going to hurt the sales again of the opening weekend or whatever, which is so important to publishers. But also just word of mouth and just talking about it, like awareness, right? Because if I jump on Twitter and I follow like all the game journals, we're like all in the same circle, right? And so I go to see what people are talking about. If I go to Twitter, every single person, and of course hyperbole here, I'm exaggerating for just to make a point. It's talking about Final Fantasy. Like every person is like Final Fantasy this and this and that and this thing. I like this about Final Fantasy. I don't like this thing. It's all about that. I don't see anybody talking about this game whatsoever. And I think this is a great game that deserves more attention. It's a huge IP. Aliens is one of the biggest sci-fi licenses out there. This is a brand new take on the game that is fresh and interesting. It's a good example of using a property in the right way. I don't hear anybody talking about it. But that circles back to, if no one knows that it's out because the journos aren't talking about it, no one's writing about it, no one's reviewing it, then people in the audience don't know that it's out there. They're not going to buy it if they even have the money after they bought Final Fantasy. And again, it goes back to that cascading negativity on their opening weekend. So from my perspective, these people, Tindalos Interactive, I believe, who did Aliens Dark Descent, hit a home run. I'm like, this is fucking amazing.
Right.
And if nobody talks about it, nobody buys it, they're going to be like, it was a failure because nobody bought it, right?
Okay.
So that's kind of what I'm getting at.
Let me unpack that really quickly, and it's a fun tangent to go on. And we're almost done with the show, so it's a short show.
Yeah, go for it.
Systematically, publishers need to change.
Agree. Fully
And
agree.
I think we both agree on that.
Total agree.
The idea of this like opening weekend thing is just so ridiculous to me.
It's stupid.
We're
Super
not
stupid.
in a movie theater business, right? Which, at that point, even that is kind of ridiculous because now there's VOD and stuff.
Agree.
So they're already looking at different numbers. But yeah, that just seems crazy to me, that part. Okay, so we agree on that.
Total agreement.
Secondly, I agree with you on the money part because we only have so much money, each of us, to spend on games. But that comes down to the marketing thing where, like, a smaller publisher might not have as many marketing dollars, so it's harder for them to get in front of more people.
Very true.
And that's just unfortunate, but how it works. Money, unfortunately, creates awareness. Then on the journalist side, I have so many problems with that world right now. But I think part of that lies on their plate and the fact of like what they cover, because everybody always wants to cover the biggest thing because
they need the clicks,
because
right?
they need the clicks, right?
Engagement. Sure.
So that has and then we don't subscribe to that, at least on this podcast, where we just like you said in the beginning, whatever we're playing, we're talking about. So I think we already kind of fixed that podcast by podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
So
we're doing what we can do. Sure.
Yeah. And then the last piece to unpack there is that, there's two more. One is that, your timeline is different than mine and it's different than person C.
Sure.
And person C might just have like, sim games in their timeline and
Very
never
true.
even see Final Fantasy 16. They don't even see Final Fantasy 16 trending. Because people don't know this, obviously, but, or maybe they do know this, but your trending there's no worldwide trending fully. Like there's kind of global trending, but your global trending is even just for you as well. So if you look onto the right on your Twitter timeline, or if you're on PC, and you see Final Fantasy 16 like I do, it's because we've been fucking following Final Fantasy 16.
Sure.
It won't show up for the sim person, It might not even show up ever. And so that's the other thing, right? We live in these walled gardens. So when we speak of things, especially going back to that YouTubers, when journalists and YouTubers and content creators like us speak of things, we can't speak of things in global like absolutes. We just can't.
Oh, sure.
And I think it's silly that we do though. Like even I do at times. We go like, this is what this is, and we can have a definitive statement. But it's just because, for better or for worse, we live in such walled gardens of content on our phone and our computers and our likes and dislikes. I just think it's almost like it's just tricky for us to put definitive statements down on what's doing better and what is better and all that stuff. That is way too long of a tangent. I'm sorry.
I mean, I agree with you, but I think you kind of just proved my point, because if you're already in a walled garden that for whatever reason isn't going to be getting the new Alien sci-fi feed, then you have even less of a chance to hear about it, right? Like you need people to get the word out. And traditionally, it's, YouTubers, it's people at IGN who are writing articles, or people who are talking about it on Twitter and stuff. And if you are not seeing those trends, then you've got even less of a chance to hear about this game. So I agree with you. I think the walled gardens are big. And like you said, money gets you over that garden wall. Getting a big famous YouTuber to play your game gets you over the garden wall. Having a big review on Metacritic gets you over the garden wall. And if the game can't do any of those things, then no one knows about it. And regardless of whether it's a good game or a bad game, the publisher calls it a failure, which we have already agreed that's a shitty thing to do, but it's the reality. So I feel like this game is in that zone right now where I feel like it's a really good quality game, really interesting, would appeal to a lot of people. It's just not getting over that garden wall right now.
Over the Garden Walls.
Yeah.
Over the Garden Wall is a great podcast name as well.
Yeah.
I'll leave the tangent and I'll say the last thing I was going to say, which is my actual second asterisk, which is I think this game might have done better and still can do better. It's not over again.
Yeah.
I almost did exactly what I said I didn't like.
Man,
I
you're
know.
almost global absolutes, brother.
I caught myself though. Because I think it can have a long tail on Steam as well, because that's where I'm looking at the page.
Oh, yeah.
I think that they don't need to market it as Aliens. This is, and you'll talk about it in a second, a game that we both love, a style of game we both love, which is top-down, strategy type game. There's a ton of games we just played like it. What's it called? Miasma, almost in a way. It's not strategy like that, I don't think. It's more actiony, like what's it called? Your favorite game in the world,
like Helldivers.
Helldivers, right? It feels like. And again, I'm jumping all over your review. But what I'll say is, I don't think of it as an Alien game, but just by watching it, it looks like it's just a different game, right? It doesn't feel Aliens to me. You tell me now. I'll shut up.
I will say this is the most Aliens game that's ever been created.
Wow,
this
that's exactly opposite of what I'm saying. Never mind.
Exact opposite.
It should just be marketed as Aliens game. I was totally wrong.
I mean, so here's the thing. Like, it is the most Aliens, and I'm putting the S on there because there's a big difference between Alien, which was, the scary one alien in a ship, suspense, stalking.
Like Isolation.
Yeah, exactly. Isolation is Alien. I didn't like Isolation, but everybody basically agrees that's the best Alien game. And I have to agree because I think it goes for the same things that movie does.
Yeah.
Whether I like it or not. This Aliens Dark Descent is the best Aliens game, which was the James Cameron one, where the Space Marines come in, they're kicking ass, there's guns every 5 seconds, the vehicles, the lander, like explosions, everything like balls to the wall. That's what this game is. Totally different from Isolation, totally different from Alien, but this leans into that so hard, and they get it, dude. Like, they finally, someone in Tendalos Interactive, they're like, wait a minute, ding, light bulb goes on, and they captured how to accurately portray that Aliens feeling, and they've nailed it, dude. Like, it's perfect.
Okay.
So here's what happens. It starts out really strong. You play a Weyland-Yutani, and if you're a fan of the movies, they're the asshole company that is always trying to like clone the aliens and shit. They're up to no good, the nefarious corporation. Weyland-Yutani executive, and you're on the space station. Things are going fine, and then somebody brings, this is not gonna be a surprise to anybody. Someone ships an alien onto the station, and they let him go because they want to clone more of these things. It's like the plot of every Alien movie. So this is not a spoiler, okay? Don't email me about spoilers. Aliens get loose, shit goes sideways. Colonial Marines show up, and I'm going to skip ahead. I'm not going to go through every story beat here, but basically what ends up happening is you are on the surface of a planet. The Colonial Marine spaceship is landed. It is your base, and then you must run operations in the same way as they did in Aliens, where, if you remember, the chicken shit commander of the Aliens movie, I forget what his name is. He's the guy who's like brand new, green under his greenhorn guy, and he's the back of the ship calling the shots over the headset while people are in the field getting their asses eaten off by the aliens. You play the guy who's the chicken shit back in the ship with the headset on. So you're never like in the field yourself. You're looking above things from kind of like a god's eye view.
Wait, that's the whole game?
Yeah, that is what the game is. You're the commander.
The videos itself made it look like what I was saying, which is more of the kind of on the ground doing stuff.
So like it is, but it isn't. Like, so that's why this game is so different and interesting, is because they're trying something new, which to my mind has not really been tried before in such a way. I feel like, because when I saw this originally, I was thinking just another XCOM, which is fine. I love XCOM, and I think that Aliens hasn't really nailed the XCOM formula, but they went a different way. They totally did something different. So what happens is you've got the base, and the base is kind of XCOM. You've got like a science department, engineering department, medical department. You've got your Marines. You can kit them out different ways. You level them up. So that's pretty similar to XCOM, right? One guy can he goes from like a grunt, level him up. He becomes like a medic, or he becomes like, or like a doctor, even beyond that. Or like you're like the gunner, and he becomes like the smart gunner, and he's got that cool gun that they had like in the movie and stuff, like the big one. So like you can level them up and like unlock tech trees and stuff. Like that's all pretty basic XCOM stuff, and that works. Which is good. Like you didn't need to change that. Good foundation. But when you get to the fucking gameplay, like it kind of blows my mind, dude, because you go to it's exactly the scene of the first or the Aliens movie where they're supposed to be colonists, everybody's gone, you don't know what's going on, you're investigating, and the complex is fucking huge, dude. It's really big, 3 floors to it, and you just roll up in your armored carrier and you jump out with a squad of 4 Marines. So the interesting thing, number one, is that it's kind of like an open world, but not a world, but like a giant area, like the complex where the colonists are living. slaughterhouse, farm area, engineering. There's like a med bay and stuff. Like there's all these different rooms, and it's laid out like a base. And so you're exploring the base on your own. You can go in any direction that you want to go, anywhere you want to go. But you're controlling your squad of 4 Marines as one unit, which is really interesting. So you've got 4 individuals. You probably got your medic, you probably got your tech person, you probably got your heavy gunner, you probably got your sergeant or whatever. But you control them all at once. Like you're not doing step by step. There's no squares, so it's not grid based. You're not giving each person a turn. You're calling out all of the things that you do all at once at the same time. So for example,
like RTS almost in a way.
It's almost kind of, yeah, there is an RTS element to it. You can pause it, and I turn that motherfucker on ASAP because I don't need to do RTS shit. Because shit happens fast in this game. But you can, when you do like a pause, like you stop for a second. But let's say that you're in a hallway and an alien's coming. You get the beep, 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 just like in the fucking movie. You can set those things up, and the motion tracker goes off. You're like, fuck. So one guy will like do like suppressing fire. So, but you're giving orders to your squad, but like one guy is doing it. So you're like, somebody do suppressing fire. One guy sets up. Somebody throw a flare. Do that. And like you're managing the whole squad at the same time, and you're not giving individual orders, but like you give orders to the squad figures it out. They do it themselves. So it's kind of like you're the guy back in the headset saying, hey, suppressor fire and pick your targets and, do that thing.
Yeah.
And you're telling them what to do, and then they're doing it. There's resources. You can't just do like your, everything all the time. I mean, you got to like pace yourself. You run out of ammo, you run out of health packs, you run out of stuff like that. So you got to like manage that aspect. But what it ends up happening is you feel like the player, you feel like you're in that control room watching your squad go through the shit. And there's fog of war, so you can't see around corners if you can't actually see around the corner. If you're far away and there's no security cameras, you don't have a feed into that area, so you don't know what's there. So it's kind of like you're exploring it just as you would if you were doing this mission for real, sending your guys around the corner, advance, or like, oh, watch out, telling them where to go. And then when aliens show up, like the shit happens and you got to like dig in real quick. It's just like they do in the movie, dude. Like exactly the same thing. It feels just like you're doing the same mission. For good and for ill, because like when you get overwhelmed, you're like, oh God, this feels terrible. I'm going to die. And that feels awful. But then when you do it right and you proceed carefully, like it's like you feel like you're successfully doing this like real-time kind of tactics. You can pause too, but also it feels very real-time in the way. Just exploring the base is tense as fuck. Like you just like, you're constantly creeping forward, and sometimes you can hear the beeping, sometimes you can't. Sometimes aliens catch you by surprise. And then like when shit goes down, you're just like shooting, the rifles are going off, and somebody got splashed with acid, you're like screaming, and it's just like it's pretty fucking awesome, dude. Like it works really, really well. The thing that really puts it over the top is I wasn't sure I was gonna like this, and I probably will change my mind later. But what works is that there's no saving in this. Like you can, and I didn't, what I mean by that is there's no quick save, right? So like, let's say you're going to go explore this one, the warehouse. You think there's some alien in there, but you don't know exactly where it's at, but your motion tracker's going off. You send your troop in there, and then something goes wrong. If something goes wrong, that's it. Like it just went wrong, and you can't back out of it. Like if somebody gets killed, they get killed. End of story. They're dead.
Oh, permadeath for characters.
Permadeath for individual characters, not for you because you're back at the base, not for your mission because there's other Marines that can take their place. Just like in XCOM, right? Like where you got your favorite guys and you don't want to lose them, but if you lose them, you lose them, and you can get a new squaddy or something. But the same thing where like the only time you can ever save is like when you go back to the ship, or if you're in a room. It's kind of a pain in the ass. It's also kind of clever. If your guys get really stressed out and they're about to like have a mental break, you can find a room. You weld the doors shut so that no aliens can get in. You can set up a little camp zone. You take a break, and you can save at that point. Like if you find a safe zone, you can camp. But otherwise, like when you're out in the field, in the rooms, in the hallway, running away from aliens, like if somebody gets killed, that's it. Like it's over. You got to fucking evac, like stat, dude.
Dude, you know what that sounds like? Is like you're watching a movie then.
It does. It feels like you're fucking watching the Aliens movie, except it's like...
But you're controlling parts of it.
Yeah, you're like on the edge of your fucking seat the whole time, and you're like, oh my God, like where's these guys coming from? And am I going to get pinched? And what's going on? And the other thing that's fucking awesome about this that really blew my mind is the level design is not at all what you would think it is. Because when I started this game, you get to the scene where like, hey, where's the colonists? They're gone. What's going on? And they're like, yeah, investigate, find their bodies or whatever. You're like, okay, cool. Like you figure it's going to be like a level 1 or something. But it's such a huge area, and the consequences are so severe. Like you cannot clear that thing your first time. It took me a while to figure out like, wait a minute, I'm not supposed to do this all in one go. I'm supposed to like take a break and like go back to the ship and resupply and come back. It blew my mind in a way that I wasn't expecting, because you're supposed to approach these levels in multiple stages, switch your Marines out, come back, re-equip, get better gear, come back, explore a little bit more. So I started thinking I'm going to just clear this level real quick and go back to the ship. And it's like, no. You got to do this thing in like 3 or 4 or 5 attempts because it's so huge. So you do as much as you can. And you're strategic about it. Try to avoid the aliens. You know, sometimes there'll be like a rush. Sometimes one will hunt you down. Sometimes they lose track of you, so you can like run around and stuff. But the other thing that's really cool is that when you find people, survivors or whatever, you can call your APC, like that wheeled vehicle with the cannon on top. It can drive all around in that fucking thing, dude. Like when I got there, I thought, okay, this is the drop zone. I'm gonna just walk in. And I'm looking at the map. I'm like, wait a minute, what is this? Oh shit! Like you can have that car come right up alongside you, fucking use those cannons and blow some fucking aliens away. Like if you need some backup, the car can park, you get in the back of the car, they open it up with all the cannons, and you're like firing, got your like defensive zone going on. And like you just take care of business and like you kill those guys. If you go into like a room, you can get the survivor, have the car come up, you drop the survivor back in the car, have the car go back. Like you're totally like managing like the whole battlefield in a way that feels very different from XCOM, very different from any other kind of strategy game that I've played. So it's like half strategy, half real time, half tactics, half controlling, half in the shit. Like it's just like the blend of everything is not like anything that I've played before structurally.
Okay.
And I love it, dude. I think it's amazing.
It seems amazing. I was totally wrong with my intro, so just I'm not going to cut it out, but pretend I didn't say it.
Okay.
Because my intro is obviously wildly different, but this is why we're keeping that intro that was wrong, that I introed to this game, is because that's marketing.
Yeah.
And back to that, similar to, you know, some of the businesses I see on Shark Tank who are like, this really cool idea, but it's such a new concept. They're like, well, we're going to have to spend millions on marketing because no one knows what the fuck this is.
Exactly.
And they've never bought in one of these things before.
Yes.
And that's so, you know, perfect for right now, like what that is. And what I did, literally. I marketed it wrong because we didn't. Example. Yeah.
Exactly. You're totally 100% correct. And I think that's another reason why I feel like it's a shame that no one's talking about this game, because these guys have taken an IP which has traditionally flopped more often than it has hit. I mean, Isolation was a hit. I think Aliens Infestation from like 15 years ago was a great game, but every other Aliens game has been kind of crap. And so these guys are finally, they cracked it, dude. They figured it out. They figured out how to make Aliens the game, and it fucking works. Like it feels like you're watching, like you're in the fucking movie. It's stressful, stakes, you're exploring, it matches the IP perfectly, like you're doing what you should be doing. It's just, it feels amazing, and like no one's talking about it. And like you said, all the shit, it took me 20 minutes to explain what this game is, and it took me probably 2 hours to figure out what this game is. But how's anybody going to get that out of a trailer? It looks just like another action game or a strategy game, and you don't get what makes it stand out and so special, right? And it's funny because when you start this game, one of the very first things that pop up is they're like a message from the developer, and it's like, this is a really different game. This is a really experimental game. It's very difficult. So please hang in there, you know? And I'm like, oh, dude, at first I thought it was weird that they put that message up. But once I got in, I'm like, oh, man, I get it now, because all of my expectations, all of the things that I thought I was going to be doing, I'm not doing. Everything that I thought I saw from the trailer is not what it actually is. And once you're in the shit like that, you're like, oh, man, this is brilliant. But you're never going to get there if you're not convinced to take the plunge, right? And so they're, just like you said, they don't have the marketing budget. No one's talking about it. Final Fantasy out, and that's taking all the mind share. And this is one that I feel like genuinely deserves to be looked at and to be played. You know, not going to say it's perfect. I mean, I think there's you know, the UI could be cleaned up a little bit. The text could be a little bit bigger. One of the menus is like a little laggy, which kind of irritates me. Consistently laggy, which sucks. But all that stuff is real small potatoes. I mean, I think really when you get down to the heart of it, they have captured the essence of the Aliens movie in a way that is not only just copying the movie, but like literally like translating that into a gameplay format that makes so much sense. Like it finally, you know, because I don't know about you, dude, but I've had conversations where like, Aliens, man, boy, that's just like a video game waiting to be made. That's like everything's right there. What's so hard about that? And it's been very difficult for like 2 decades. These people finally figured it out. They got it. They got it's done. They've nailed it. And like no one's paying attention.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. And it's interesting too, because it's almost like in a similar sense of the Final Fantasy game where it feels like a show, right?
Yeah.
Like I would say Final Fantasy 16 is most like a Netflix series that you play as well. And it seems like this has a different mechanic where how you play the game. But like you said, you're just watching these scenarios play out. and dealing with it. If there's death, there's death, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
It seems super cool.
It's really fucking cool. I really like it. It's stressful as fuck. And I got to play it in short bursts because the tenseness of it does get to me. But I love it, dude. I think it's so great. And if you're a fan of Alien or Aliens specifically, or the IP or anything, you've got to check this one out. This is one of the winners, absolute winners, dude. Like, it's so fucking good. It's amazing.
Check it out.
Check it out. Aliens Dark Descent. Okay, that is the end of the main portion of the show. We're going to bounce in a second, but probably just a couple things before we go here. Carlos, any non-game stuff you want to get off your chest before we bounce?
Oh, I got nothing. I mean, I'm watching tons of shows. I did. We already talked about Black Mirror and my frustrations with it.
Yep.
But I'm just like, I'm so curious on how so many people, like that one episode I talked about a robot being cut up and stuff. They thought that was like the best one or something.
Oh no, really?
And I was like, oh, what's going on with society?
Yikes.
Like in general, that you
Red
saw
flag.
past that. There's a home invasion thing that's really bad, and it lingers way too long. I can't believe they're like, yep, the one with that in it. Anyways, also I tried to start Beau is Afraid, which is a movie I've been very interested in. The guy who did Hereditary and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Pretty
yeah.
twisted, dark mind. Again, talk about dark. But because it's what's his name? What's his name?
I don't
Oh
know.
my goodness. The main guy. The main guy, also a funny name.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna type in the main guy.
I have no idea.
Beau is Afraid. I'm like, hold on, let me just write it. Everybody listening is like, what are you talking about?
What's happening? What's going on?
Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyways, it's really like a twisted, like David Lynch, which I like, not really real thing that's happening to a person.
Yeah.
And they call it a tragic comedy,
Gotcha.
which I really like that idea. And I like a lot of parts of it, but some of it just hits too close to home because it's about family.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if this was about anything else and it was this type of movie, I'd be like 100% in. But because it's so much about family, and I have like, a lot of family issues.
Sure.
Well, we all have family issues.
We all do, yes.
And I think that's actually the point of it. A lot of people can, touch on some of this stuff and be like, oh man, I could imagine myself in that, even though it's like not real. A lot of it's basically just like imaginary and weird and just these fantastical takes. So I like parts of it, but I might do something that I've never done before in any film, which is why I kind of recommend it. I think it's done so well and so weird. I'm going to skip parts.
Oh, wow.
Is that weird?
I mean, I don't do that, but I have heard people that do that. What? Tell me the name of this title again.
It's called Beau is Afraid.
Beau is Afraid. Okay.
And I just think there's parts that are like so real and so like remind me of things, my own life. I'm like, I can't sit on this scene for 30 minutes. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I might jump around a little bit and finish it. It's on VOD. So that's not really a praising review at all, but
Oh, okay. Something to chew on, I guess. There
something
you
to
go.
chew on. And I'm watching millions of other things, but I have nothing right now for the show.
Okay. I just watched a movie called Polite Society. I think it's playing on Peacock, but I think it's also on VOD, I believe. It is a British movie starring an almost entirely Indian cast, like East Indian cast. It's kind of like a comedy, and it's also kind of like a surreal, absurdist sort of a thing. Basically,
Yes.
have you seen it?
I've seen the trailer, and it
Okay.
seemed very interesting to me.
It's really good. It's really good. We loved it. Basically, there's this Indian girl who wants to be a stunt woman, and her sister wants to be an artist, and the parents are kind of poo-pooing it. They want them to be like doctors and the very traditional. I mean, this is not my culture, but I've seen many stories that mirror this kind of thing. If you are an East Indian person, this seems to be very common cultural themes. But basically, the sister decides to get married to this really rich, up-and-coming bachelor, also an Indian guy. And the younger sister, who wants to be a stunt woman, is like, no, you can't get married because this family is actually evil and they're doing all sorts of nefarious shit. And you're not sure at first if she's just imagining it or if it's actually real. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but the movie is great. It takes a lot of twists and turns that you don't see coming. It's really funny, and there's a lot of like fighting, like kind of goofy fighting, and it's just like the sense of humor in it is really good. Like, we thought it was wonderful. We just never knew what to expect, and it was like a lot of laughs and a lot of good acting and just a very good heart at the core of it. I think it's a really positive movie, and it was just really a good time. We really liked it a lot. polite society. I think it's even definitely appropriate for like families too as well.
Yeah.
It's on the lighter side for sure.
It's interesting. That's like the opposite it's the opposite and similar in the fact that it's fantastical at times, right? It seems like, but
It
it's
is,
like,
yeah.
but it's like more heartwarming than Beau is Afraid, where it's like Beau is Afraid's going to challenge you, emotionally.
Oh yeah. There's nothing challenging in this movie, and I think that's fine. Not every movie needs to do that.
Good.
It's just a good time movie. We had a great time. Another shout out to Deadlock, which I talked about last week. The series set in Tasmania about officers investigating a serial murder in a lesbian forward town in the middle of a lesbian festival.
Yep.
That show is funny as shit. It is so good, and the way that they transition between being serious and being funny is like masterful. I think it's definitely with that area of the world, like Tasmania, which I don't have a lot of experience with, but certainly Australia. I think it's got a lot of similarities to Australian sense of humor, which sometimes really works for me really well. I think it's really great. So Deadlock is great. Deadloch, wonderful. Loving that. I got a couple episodes left. I'm going to be very sad when that is over. I haven't seen this yet. Maybe you have. Have you seen the trailer for I'm a Virgo?
Yeah, and it's on my top of my list. I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah.
It's about fucking fantastic. It's on Amazon right now.
Yeah. It comes from director Boots Riley, I believe. It's on Amazon right now, and it's about a black young man in Oakland who is inexplicably 13 feet tall. He's like a giant.
It's like a giant person.
Yeah, he's like fucking huge. And so what does that mean to be a giant and to be black and in Oakland? And I haven't seen it yet, but as soon as I saw the trailer, I'm like, oh shit, we got to watch this. So we're going to watch it like ASAP. It seems to obviously explore cultural issues, probably a lot of personal issues, a lot of social media. I'm sure there was hints of that in the trailer. So it looked really good. Definitely going to check that out very soon.
Let me put an asterisk next to that because we need one more asterisk for the show.
Yeah.
I believe he did. Oh, what did he do?
Sorry to Bother You, I think was.
Sorry to Bother You. Okay, so that movie. Have you seen that?
I have only seen bits. I haven't seen the whole thing.
Oh my goodness, it came out in 2012. That's crazy.
It's on my list, man.
He's done many other movies since then, but oh no, he hasn't done many movies since then.
Let me look it up real quick. Keep talking.
Okay, so I have a slight problem with that movie, and the fact that it does feel fantastical, which he likes doing. And I won't say the spoiler in case someone wants to watch it. Something happens in that movie at some point where it reminds me of The Lobster. There's movies that are like this where it's like fantastical, but also like, why'd you pick that as your fantastical option? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This seems like from the trailer much more straightforward where like, he's really large and that's weird. And what's that mean culturally and stuff like that. But in Sorry to Bother You, and because I knew he did this, it gets fucked for like no funness. I'm not speaking English now. It's like it changes to a really fucked up weird thing, and it makes it worse. Like I don't like the end of that movie, or like I don't like the last quarter.
I don't know what it is, so I can't comment on that.
Oh,
but,
I wish I could tell you, but I can't.
All right, don't tell me.
In case you want to watch it. But the point is that because I know that, I'm kind of a little hesitant with the series. Because,
who knows?
Man.
I bet it could get dark. I mean, there's definitely potential for it to get really dark.
Dark isn't it? Anybody listening who's seen this movie knows what I'm talking about.
All right.
It's funny, but like weird as fuck. Okay. Anyway,
so I'm looking him up. So obviously a lot of music background, but Sorry to Bother You was his first thing as far as film go, and this is his second big, like, not a film but TV project. So director and writer in both of those, but a pretty long music history.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out. I'm still gonna
check it out. I'm gonna check it out still. And then the only other thing, what else was I gonna say? Nothing. I talked about Gargoyles last week, didn't I?
Yes.
Yeah. Still watching Gargoyles. Still good. I still wish they were gonna kill people. They never kill anybody, and it drives me fucking crazy because if there's ever a show that needed more violence, it's Gargoyles, but still enjoying it. So
all right.
There you go. All right, folks, that is a show. As always, send us your questions and comments. Hit us up. SoVideoGamesPodcast@gmail.com. Also, hit us up individually. Carlos, where are we sending your traffic this week?
I don't know. I never know nowadays. Just, I'm Carlos Rodella everywhere. Just Google Carlos Rodella.
Carlos Rodella at everywhere.com.
Yep. Literally just Google. And by the way, do that. Here's my actual answer. Do it and let me know what you find. Because you just find weird shit. Like
that's true.
I did this video about whatever, like a game. I did this video about like somewhere else, traveling. I don't know what it is.
Carlos doesn't even know where Carlos is. If you find Carlos, please let Carlos know
where
he's at.
Yeah, let me know where I'm at.
As for me, same as always, I'm basically on every platform, some more than others. It's my name, BradGallaway, all A's, no O's. And that is going to do it for episode 342. Thank you again for joining us here on the So Videogames podcast, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.